And all this time later to see what you might think is trivial.
We're gonna have to watch this.
What's up, everybody?
Oh, good day and gratitude, family. Good day and gratitude. I sure miss y'all today, but yeah, I was with family today. And so when family show up, I really wasn't trying to say, can you come back later? But yeah, I don't want to subject anyone to, listening to me go on and on and on and stuff. I hope everyone had a marvelous day today, a wonderful day today. I know it's very trying times out here for us. I know it is, honey. I'm not even out there in it like that, but I know it's getting very hard out there. It's getting testy, ain't it? Ooh-wee. Like I said before, I haven't really been into politics and stuff like that. I ain't really been into nothing that's been going on, with our people and, the situations we find ourselves in. Sure haven't, honey. And I take accountability for that. I sure do. Because if I had been, following politics and into politics and stuff, I wouldn't have been steering my people wrong. No, see, that's why we got to teach our babies. We got to teach our children so they can be the right ones that's sitting in them seats. Because the ones that's sitting in them seats now and trying to get in them seats, honey, they ain't for us. They ain't for us. They for a pillar. They for a lap of luxury. They want a biscuit, like Sister Vicky say. They trying to get that bag. You know what they after. Ain't none of them after the safety of Black America. That's not why they get to that position. I can't believe it. The Civil Rights Act, 1965, what is the equal employment opportunity? After every commercial dealing with work and stuff, they say that it's an equal opportunity employer. Gone. To my understanding now. To my understanding. We're going to watch the video right here. I just seen it. Yeah. I don't think I was much late either getting in here because I rewinded and hurried up and it's 9 hours ago. Yeah. Sure is, honey. I'm just wondering what the hell have we done? All your friends, All your family. Black America just out there just living it up, spending money, ain't reading, ain't thinking. We ain't critiquing nothing. We ain't teaching nothing. Just stampeding. Stampeding. We don't know who got the reins. We don't know who got the reins staring our people. Oh, but now we know where they were staring us because we back. We way back. Yeah, I was looking at this. I didn't finish this right here. And a brother was saying that his great-grandmama, y'all, his great-grandmama, seen it on the news and started crying, y'all. Just what I was telling us the other day. We made our ancestors forget about everybody that they loved, that they knew of, that they heard of in their community. That was the reason why they had to flee, run for their life. His mama heard about that man revoking the Civil Rights Act, and they couldn't even hardly calm her down. They couldn't even hardly calm her down. Can we imagine what our elders are remembering at this time? Can we even imagine? Your friends, your Brad and your Karens, you done gave them what they wanted now. You done just handed it over. Man, what brother in here saying, see, we smart, we intelligent. See, we got to give us more credit than we doing. We got to listen to us. What's that old saying? They used to say, oh, you got to tell a white person to tell it to them. You got to tell a white person to tell it to black folks. Because they ain't going to believe you if it's coming from us. Oh, they won't receive it if it's coming from us. Now, look, our ass is set way back before 1965. See, before 1965, that's when they can do whatever. Hang the note in the door. Right there on the window. No niggas ain't working here. Black people not allowed. One brother said they want to, he said he's ending illegal discrimination and bringing back merit-based opportunity. Merit-based opportunity. But brother just said all that merit-based bullshit, that ain't nothing but white supremacy. We gonna watch the video. I'm just wondering what the hell have y'all done? You're so smart. You didn't get out there and tell everybody. You didn't even try to get out there and let everybody know what you know. Wow. All the way back before 1965, y'all. That's where you going. That's where, yeah. So I suggest at this point, as soon as you can, you need to start selling some shit. Go on up to Plato's, them and stuff and pawn some shit so you can get some money and get by. We're going back to basic. We going back to basic. If you well off, that's even better. Because you can go back to basic and help somebody else. Because, honey, the shit have hit the fan. I ain't even really that familiar with, the Civil Rights Act and stuff, But I know it's very, very important. Our elders seen it on the news and bust out crying. Her daughter didn't even know why she was crying. Didn't know why her mama, her grandmama just started crying. When she seen it on the news, imagine everybody else seen it on the news. Our elders are crying at this very moment, wailing. Even those that's by themselves. Ain't nobody there with them. They just watching the news. And it come across the screen. Civil Rights Act of 1965 revoked. That's what Black America has let happen. Yeah, see, that's what you get. Want to bring everybody to the cookout. Want to trust everybody. Want to follow everybody. Letting everybody lead us and just come into our communities. Ain't telling us nothing. We just get the knowledge and keep it to ourselves. Just wrap it up, fold it up, and set it under the table right there. And then we just go on with life. And we've been wrong the whole time. The whole damn time we've been sacrificing us. Yeah, I did it too. Yep, I sure did. I did it too. I should have been had my ass where I was supposed to be at. At least knowing what's going on with my people as far as education, as far as the politics. But now, just like all of us, we so fascinated because we finally out here with white folks. We finally get to act like white folks. Yeah. For a little while, that didn't last long though, did it? Because, honey, them wigs is finna come off. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow, but everything finna come off. Them wigs finna come off. Them nails finna come off. Them lashes, them name brands. All of that finna come off. Because you know what? We're going to have to watch this right here. Let me get this out the way first. Yeah, honey. Because you know what else finna be put in place? This merit-based opportunity. Everything about white supremacy. All of this right here. Before 1965, there was 1919, 1943. We got some 1943 off in here. We got some 1917 off in here. It said 1965. He took it back. We ain't got that no more. It's an open gate. It's wide open. So how y'all feel? You know, we too damn intelligent for this. We too smart for this. It's the fear. It's the fear. The desire to be around white America. To be up under white America. We ain't never gave no focus to us. Honey, once Big Mama and them stopped putting up a fuss and a fight, because you know once they seen that first baby, that was a wrap. They was sold. We won. Once they seen that first mixed baby. That's when we started. Yeah, we really got the mingling, marrying, dancing, building, creating. And this done lasted for a long time. Interracialness. It's done lasted for a very long time, decades. Went from enslavement to a romance. Kind of like Thomas Jefferson and Sally Hemings. Really was a love story. That's what they said. It was a love story. And we know damn well there was not no love story. She was a slave. And now we look around and stuff and this done happened again. Oh, shit. What about that scenario I was talking about last week? Karen finna come home now. Oh, sister, you better start putting some shit up. You better start putting some shit up. Because it won't be long now. No, everybody finna realize, hey, we got y'all back where we want y'all at. Oh, yeah. Gonna be a lot of us ain't gonna know what to do. Oh, let's get this out of the way. Because, yeah, hey, I didn't even know. Till I turned on the TV, I didn't know nothing. Sure didn't. But, yeah, good day and gratitude, family. I am Face the Nation. And we are on Bolden Unchained. We're here to assist Black America and Black media with the uncovering and the condemning. Yeah, we got our rights tonight taken away. Yeah, he took them. What we reading about right now, y'all. What everybody is fighting about, talking about right now. You can put on any Black media channel you want to. It's about us. And we ain't even paid no attention to them. We so hung up on white media. So, yeah, that's why we here. We right on time. I'm right on time. I might have missed a lot. But, yeah, that's all right because we got this. I was just saying it. By choice or by force or choice. We had a choice. I know we didn't like Kamala. Y'all didn't. For whatever reason. I didn't even know the woman. I didn't know about her either. I knew she was something other than, us. And I know we didn't, resonate with her. Y'all didn't. Hell, I didn't know her, but I voted for her. That's all that matters, is the well-being of our people. Between her and Donald Trump, it couldn't have been that motherfucking hard to decide who was going to be the better vote for our people, for the future. Hell, for all of mankind. Do you know everybody finna get some of this oppression? For real. I ain't just been saying it. Everybody finna get some of it. Yep. Sure will, honey. Whoever white folks don't like, finna get some of it. And other folks that's got their businesses that's a little well off, you know they thinking like white folks. Yeah, everybody finna get some of this. Everybody finna abandon Black America. Oh, hell no. We ain't finna stay around y'all motherfucking that. We can't buy no bread. We can't buy no milk. Oh, hell no. We need shit that we can't get because we with y'all and we leaving. And everybody finna leave Black America motherfucking ass right there with nothing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had no idea. And I've been talking about it. But yeah, the Civil Rights Act of 1965. Yeah, we got to finish that video. But anyway, yeah, we're here to uncover and condemn the many agendas, events, projects, operations, laws, bills, acts, codes, the many compromises, plans, studies, y'all. They got experiments, now courses. They got courses in college. Yeah, Google and let us know if it's white folks, colleges, and universities or other people's. Because it's about Black women. I don't think it's a benefit. You know, I got the video on my history somewhere. Brother Phil Scott, we're talking about. I don't think it's a benefit. I do not think it's a benefit to us. We done been studied enough. Now look at us sitting up here way back. Y'all know we back in 1965. Do it feel like 1965 to y'all? Because it is real soon. I don't know if you got the money, hurry up and go out and buy your stuff that you need to start prepping. Yeah. Because you know, once folks start saying, oh no, you can't work here no more. We got you replaced. Then that's it, y'all. It's going to be hard. Grinding the road. Yeah, so this is it. Go ahead, get whatever you got, get it together so we can start buying from each other. We can start getting set up so we don't have no space in between our incomes. Y'all, we cannot survive without an income. We're going to need to keep the income coming, the money coming to us down here, the every 2-week paycheck people that's living from, paycheck to every other paycheck. Yeah, some of us ain't living paycheck to paycheck. We got to make it work from paycheck to every other paycheck. That paycheck in the middle is to cover bills that's done popped up from late fees and stuff. On family. Yeah, that middle check right there. Yeah, it's hard. And then you got to fit in food shelves, clothes shelves, and places like that to supplement your income and your household. What about when they start saying, oh no, and they're going to put the sign up to it. I got to make something. I got to get a piece of paper and write it on there. Civil Rights Act revoked. So we can remember it. Y'all, it's finna get serious here. Yes, honey, like we never seen before. See, I've been telling y'all ass. We don't know what the hell white America got planned. We act like everybody's our friends and stuff. White America gonna let whatever happened to us happen. Ooh, yes, spiritual now. Spirit come through. Spirit come through. Man, I'm telling you, if y'all asses don't take every white Jesus you got on your wall and toss his ass outside. Put his ass out. Your ass need to call on a black Jesus. We're going to have to stop all of this fantasy, this make-believe illusion of inclusion. Because we ain't included in nothing. Not even what we was included in. We ain't got it no more. What about when everything else is stripped away? Let's go on and finish this. Yeah, the projects, operations, code, compromises, acts, everything, all the sabotages against Black America. And we looking through a spiritual lens. I done said this before. We not looking through a religious lens here. We ain't got nothing. We can't be forgiving nobody but our ancestors. Oh, honey, now we need to ask them for their forgiveness. Will they forgive us? Will they even forgive us? You think our ancestors will forgive us? The way we don't ignore them and sacrifice them and just forsake them, cast them to the side for the very ones that hunted them down. We done literally put ourselves right back in the situation that they didn't want us in, that they vision suffered. So we didn't have to. That was their last thought. Please don't let my great-grandbaby go through this. Oh, my great-granddaughter at home, my granddaughter at home, my daughter pregnant, my grandson, my son finna be a father. Don't let our future go through this. Don't let my future family go through this. And we done sit here and done let these people just railroad us. Well, hell, we couldn't even just help vote for Kamala motherfucking ass. Just so we can hold off rolling us back. I mean, was it that important? Was it that important to show how much you did not like Kamala? Done set us all the way back. Now your ass better be ready for what's coming ahead. Don't come crying about that. Oh, no, they said this, they did that. Shut the fuck up. Man up, get your shit together. Make sure them kids is okay. Fortify your home. Make sure you got some food, some warmth, some air. Because all that crying and shit and what Karen did and Ken did, that's done. That ain't even no priority no more. It ain't. Ain't no need in acting like, we don't like each other no more. Oh, yeah. Everybody finna be coming for us. Just give it a little time. Just give it a little time. It might seem like right now, our face just talking. I don't know. Give it 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah, you're going to see it just real common. It's going to be real common like as time go on. Oh, damn. No wonder I seen that shit saying that they trying to push for a 3rd term for Trump. Yep. Unprecedented, ain't it? Yeah, because I was like that. It didn't really resonate with me when I first heard it. And then I thought it was, ain't it only 2 terms? Let me see what y'all saying, because I'm just, I don't know who the hell to cuss out. I don't know who, but I know it, we got to love each other. We got to forgive each other. I want y'all to know that y'all done fucked up, though. Black America done fucked up. Those that knew and didn't care. All my ancestors. Didn't we just see Nelly Neal performing? And the day after, or a few days after, they done rolled us back. We can't even perform no more. Wait till they come out with all the bullshit. No, you can't perform here no more. We ain't even got nothing set up so we can go perform on our own. Sure don't. I'm so glad, honey, my life ain't intertwined with white America like they have, because I can do without they motherfucking asses. Sure can. Get our stuff together. Let's get our stuff together. So we can start buying from each other. We can start buying from each other and keep our income going. We got to keep our income going. We got to downsize. Some of us, we got to downsize. Hell, you don't need no damn 4-bedroom house with 2 bath, 2.5 baths. Hell, it ain't nobody there but you and 1 child. We gonna have to do these things. Here, stay there. Call some family. Call some family with you. Yep, time to be together again. That's all this finna force us to do. That's all this finna force us to do. And we better do it. We better do it. I don't know. Pandamala was gonna be just as bad. Yeah, it was. Pamela was gonna be just as bad, but it would at least gave us another day to fight. We would at least had our rights so we could still be building up and getting ourselves, on point. That's all her ass would have did. Gave us another day to fight. Kind of like when you running from a fight, you done got in the fight and somebody got the gun and you got the knife. Well, your ass better run. But you live to fight the next day. That's all that would have done. Now look at us. I'm glad I'm basic. Sure will, son. I wish I had all the money I did so I can go right to the thrift store. And I'm come up out of that motherfucker with heaters, electric blankets, big extension cords and stuff. And then the other little stuff you just ordered, like your power jack, your power station. You start working on your inside garden and stuff. Yeah, this gonna force us to do this. But we ain't got no time. We ain't got no time. And those like myself without money and stuff, we really ain't got no time. So don't, honey. No, but those that do, you better go ahead and get yourself together. Yeah, because I had no idea. I don't know what about mixed people. Go talk to mixed people. Your white side and stuff. We got to look out for us. Mixed people, hey, they might accept y'all. That's a personal decision y'all got to make. Yes, honey, we got to look out for us now. We ain't got nobody else, no either or. It's just us. Mixed people, you got white and black. So yeah. We just hear about black people. I don't know, Tracy. Yeah. Not right here. Go to the other platform. Sister and them talking about it. Where mixed people, how it is with them. But I know right here, I'm just concerned about black people. It ain't no white people and black people decision. It's just black. That's it. That's it. Me, my grandchildren, my daughters. We ain't got no option. White and black. It's just us. Yeah, I can't answer for other folks and stuff. If they did have the option, of being with white folks and stuff, I would be like, I advise you to really decide where you want to be. Because white folks flip the script on black folks, we gonna find ourselves back in this. And for everybody else and stuff, I don't know what that means for them, but I know what it means for us. We're gonna be fleeing for our lives again. That's what it's gonna mean for Black America, Trace. That's what it's gonna mean for Black America. We're gonna be fleeing for our lives again. See, we done bit off more than we could chew. We got in there, we mingled, we married, we procreated. We really jumped in it sincerely because we felt like that was the thing to do. We forgave everything. We were sincere in being, in society with everybody. We wasn't vengeful. We didn't have, plans and sabotages against white America or nothing like that. We wasn't even saying, hell, we know they ain't teaching our kids right, so we gonna teach them at home. We wasn't doing none of that. We were totally, trustworthy with white America, but not now. We can't. We cannot afford them luxuries. No, ma'am. I'm not sorry. That's how it is. I'm trying to put it as delicate as I can, but hell, I'm still in shock. Hell, I wonder how the fuck did all this even happen? I know we traumatized. I know we so full of fear. And I'm like, whoa, damn. It took all of this for us to see Black America that we've been made of. Now we're a fool and a dummy. Oh yeah. Now we a fool and a dummy. Yep, all of those that actually went out and voted for Trump. Oh, we gotta look at this because that's what sister was saying. What she said? She said those that didn't vote, your vote went to Trump. Those that voted for a third party, your vote went to Trump. Those that voted for Donald Trump, of course, and all of that is the reason why. And she just talking about us. Now, the other whites and stuff and everybody else that voted for Trump, all of that is against us. This was against us. The racial violence was against us. And everybody else finna get some of it. But when everybody else get mad at us, it's a wrap. I don't understand why, Black America, why we don't even see this. Yeah, we looking through a spiritual lens, so we ain't finna forgive nobody. We can't forgive nobody but our ancestors and ourselves. Because I really want to call out some names. Knowing damn well I don't know them people, and they don't know me either. And they damn sure don't care about us. They don't care about us. They just glad that they got a bag. They got fame, they got fortune, they got wealth. But to sit there and let us, really, that's unbelievable, ain't it? Unbelievable. And that elderly lady just started crying. Took them a long time to get her calmed down. Do you think people are going to flip the script on the illegal immigrants this year? Yeah, till they flip it on black people. Yeah. Yep. They going to flip it all on black people, honey. Immigrants, too. That's how immigrants going to get them off of them. Because everybody going to flip and, be mad at black people here. Your ass started this shit. We going to be like, what? Well, shit. Get ready, shit. Keep your eyes on the prize. Everybody else is. Yeah, we done been so happy, go lucky out here in society, honey. Hell, the music we love, they make us feel good. Make me cut a rug. Honey, we can't even find our music no more. They got so much bullshit out there playing and stuff, but that's what you love. That's why everybody fucking crazy. And then I tell y'all, everybody had the mentality of white America. Everybody got this mentality about black folks. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, everybody get on everybody. Everybody do ride everybody. Everybody be riding everybody instead of crime, just be crime. But then when you got racial violence, it's against Black America. And then, they had in there to act like it was crime against other groups of people and stuff. It ain't no crimes against other groups of people and stuff like it's crimes against Black America. Why keep forsaking Black America? And why we keep letting them? That's what gets to me. Why we keep letting them? Is everybody, who gonna say they got John Brown mindset now? That's what we need to know. Who finna claim John Brown mindset now? Watch everybody jump ship. Watch everybody jump ship. Oh, no, It's been good, Face. It's been good. And I love you. Give me some love, but yeah, I got to get on over here where my people at. Yeah, we finna see now who really love black people. Yes, honey. Yep. Hold on just a minute. Because we ain't been ready for it. We ain't been paying attention to nothing. We haven't been looking at nothing. We just been letting these folks just steer us whatever and however they want to. Scared. But we all over each other, though. Don't you look at me. What am I looking for here? Because I had something I sure wanted to show y'all. That's all right. I'll find it whenever I find it. Yeah, I find it whenever I find it. Because, honey, we ain't even ready. Sure ain't. I be there. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it. Y'all done sat here, almost intelligent people. And folks that know, why y'all ain't been saying nothing to the people? Why y'all ain't been, let me let this one go. Why y'all haven't been saying something if you knew? I mean, that's like, damn. The house on fire, you ain't even telling folks, hey, your house on fire, man. Hey, man, I see some smoke coming out your back door. To me, I'm just saying to me, in my opinion, yeah, it's going to happen to Black America. It's finna happen to Black America. Damn, we didn't even know about the first awakening. I didn't. Then y'all know what I told y'all about the King Alfred plan. Man, everybody and their mama gonna be kicking black people ass in the street. The black man, yep, gonna be beating his ass down out there. Little kids too. Yep. Then they got these robot dogs coming and shit, a new futuristic world and shit. Can you see black folks poor with no resources, no tools, no food, no nothing? Locked up in them smart cities and shit. All other people might be in there for a while and stuff, but see, other people gonna barter to get out. Yeah. Other people gonna barter to get out. Whole new setup. This a new Monopoly game. Was it a new Monopoly game? I remember the first one. But it might have been a new Monopoly game because this like the remix. This like the remix. I can't believe this. This is The ancestors need to come now. They need to come now. Y'all got to stop the this illusion of inclusion stuff. Y'all do, Black America. Yep, let me get this copyright disclaimer out the way because you know, shit, they might take this back. They might take this back. Yep, then we won't even be able to do this right here. You think about that? I mean, it is the Department of Education. Where is it at? It said it's gonna eliminate Project 2025. It's supposed to eliminate the Department of Education, eliminating the Department of Education, eliminating the Department of Commerce. Yeah, and go on out there and protest if you want to. And they don't wasted your time too, protesting and stuff, because they ain't taught black folks to do nothing. Black folks supposed to at least been out here patrolling our own communities. Patrolling and protecting our own communities. We ain't doing nothing. Now this right here says Project 2025 will deploy the military for the use of domestic law enforcement. So instead of the regular police, it's going to be the military against protesters under the Insurrection Act of 1807. Yeah. So see what you done did, Black America, for all your friends, for all the love. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You've done literally tied your own hand. And then to think some of us talking to Trump. Trump, yeah. Trump MAGA. It's Trump, baby. Sure is Trump. Yeah. Trump you all the way back before 1965. But let me get to here it is right here. Copyright disclaimer under 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. I was sleepy. At first, I was like, dang, I am sleepy. But, I was like, I didn't make it in on our lunchtime. And I was like, well, I really need to, because I wanted to talk about this right here when I seen it. And then I was like, maybe I could wait till tomorrow and stuff. But no, we need to see what's going on with this right now. I mean, because who knows when it's actually going to be felt, when we're going to start feeling the repercussions of this, revoking of the Civil Rights Act. Ooh, y'all. I don't know. Maybe I just, I don't be trying to look for the worst in things and stuff, but I be wanting to know, what's going to happen to Black America. What could possibly happen out of this or this or this to Black America. And we ain't got nothing. Man, yeah, if you sell stuff, you can put your stuff in the chat. Put what it is and stuff. You sell purses, shoes, body butter, lotion, make bread, whatever. Put it in the chat. Shit, we ain't got no time to waste. Shit, I didn't make it here to just sit here because it might be soon enough we won't be able to do this right here. So when you see each other out and stuff, we got to start just talking to each other, letting each other know. Yep, just word of mouth. We got to start somewhere. We here to heal Black America. That's why we here, to heal Black America. Man, I am really late. Ain't that fucked up? I've been here like a month, ain't it? I've been on here maybe 2 months. And already we back in 1965. Do it feel like 1965 to y'all yet? Let me see. Yep. Wow. Oh, I'm sorry, Tracy. Let me see what you were saying. I ain't free to you. There's so many books out there of Black history. Yeah. Yeah, if you mix, you Black Palmer. If you mix, you are black. But having that option, all of them ain't black. A lot of them gonna side with the white families and stuff, and that's their decision. I'm not even here to even talk about that. That's their decision. I know for black folks, we ain't got no, white savior or family or, backup that we could go to. It's just us. So, I don't even want to get distracted on that and stuff. That's each person's decision. That's their journey. I had a lady the other day tell me that her white mother treats her like a slave. And I was saying to myself, well, everybody kept telling me stuff. And, I'm trying to run up out of this store. I don't even like being in stores like that. But it come to my thoughts and stuff that a lot of white women are bitter and they pissed. Because, I done gave up a nice, sweet life with, with the old wealthy white boy, the old wealthy white man, to be with the handsome, very virile, sexy, smelling good, young, vibrant black man. But now we done got old. Hell, he breaking down. We ain't got money. All these kids want to do what they want to do and stuff. So I was like, shit, maybe white folks is like, damn, I made the wrong decision. So did. All I could tell her was, honey, because her daddy is ill and stuff. What she talking about, he's having a mental decline. And I was like, honey, call his mama, his sisters and brothers, and get my brother some help. Let him know, hey, it's me. It's your brother's daughter. And I'm just calling to let you know that dad is having a mental decline. And, and be honest with him. Because what happened was he chose them over his family. And everybody disowned his ass. He stayed with them. They didn't disown him, but they let him go. And he went and he stayed. And now he's older, she's older. He's having a mental decline. She evil declining. She's aging evilly to that man. That black man. I could just imagine how she treating that black man. Because he ain't no good no more. His body breaking down, mind breaking down, can't make no money. All of his stuff that he used to work on when he was really active and stuff, just laying around. I can imagine. So I was like, since she was telling me and stuff, before you go wherever you go, call my brother family and let them know what's going on with their son. He was their son before he was your daddy and her husband. So do the right thing. And and then honey, I left. Got in my car, came home, and what the hell is going on? We done been that sidetracked. We can't let it keep happening. I mean, look at where we at now. They done rolled back 1965. Wow. Yeah, so now we ain't got no choice but to do for ourselves, honey. Sure will. Put your stuff in the chat, even if you sell books. Especially if you sell books. Yeah, put everything in the chat, whatever you do and stuff, because we gonna need it, while we can. I still don't believe it. Seems like it's some most surreal shit. But I think that's all I wanted to do. I really want us to watch this video right here. Sure do, honey. Oh, I don't know, Tracy. Mixed black Americans. I don't know. I just know about black folks. Yep, I just know about black folks, And I don't want black folks to go with white folks. I want black folks to stay with black folks. But as far as mixed black folks and stuff, it's their decision. It's your decision personally, individually. Y'all know, who you resonate with. And you know who you resonate with. You know if your heart it has sympathy and empathy and condoning for, white people, your family, then yeah, you probably need to be with them. Because we need people that's going to be around us, that's going to be straight up with us, for us. We don't need nobody infiltrating us no more for our people and stuff. We set way back in 1965, and it's only a matter of time before everybody feel the squeeze of that. And then they're going to say, you know what, Black America, I won't ever whip you. As long as I got my business, I always hire you until they can't do it no more. And then they just say, well, I won't never whip you myself. You can't work here with me and stuff, or they're going to shut my business down. But you got my word. I won't whip you. I might have to watch somebody else whip you, but I won't whip your face. That's what we done did to us, man. I want to help where I can. I'm white looking, but still part Chinese. Check Sons of Liberty. Doug is the man. Okay, I'll check it out. Oh, whoever said look at what was that, man? I forgot. I did look at that documentary you told me to look at and stuff. Whoever it was. But let's watch some of this video right here, because this is like it should be on every news everywhere. Mainstream media ain't really telling us what it means for us. But we better pay attention and stuff. Things finna move really fast now. A lot of us is not finna get the information we're gonna need. Yeah. Oh, don't tell me my laptop gonna start acting crazy and stuff. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think this is the one I wanted. Hold on, y'all. This right here is Augustus Corbett. We do listen to him. We do listen to him, and we might tonight. But this right here, I want y'all to listen to about the family. When they was talking about the revocation of the Civil Rights Act of 1965. And everybody was talking about it when they found out about it and stuff. And then brother was talking about his mother, and then his mother's mother, and his mother's mother's mother. So she was his great grandmother. She the one when she saw it on the news, and it broke her heart. It literally broke her heart. Yeah. She probably having nightmares and stuff again. Viola Fletcher said she never stopped having nightmares. Yeah. Yeah, she said she never stopped having nightmares. And it's like 25 minutes long, but I think it's very worthy for us to look at it. We really need to see how we feel about things that's going on and how it's affecting us, because we really not focusing, you know. This thing do right here. I need to get me another monitor. And yeah,
look in the mirror
finally, here
and
it is.
ask, do you love the color of your skin? Because y'all allowed this man in office, something that our ancestors fought for, got beat for, got dogs on them, got sprayed with water hoses, got hung for. They fought for these rights for us, and y'all squandered them away for money. Y'all squandered them away just to be closer to white people. What a disgrace y'all are to our community. My mom wasn't even born when this shit came through. My mom wasn't even born. And you mean to tell me y'all let this man take this from us? Something our ancestors fought for? Y'all really let that shit happen? If you are Black and you voted for this man, go play in traffic. Because this shit right here, this should have never happened. Everybody is about to suffer for this.
Oh.
Everybody. Race,
Let's just bear through.
color, religion, national origin. This man is making America and y'all an advantage. DEI is not a fucking advantage. It's just to put us in the room because we're just as qualified as any other white man. And y'all let this shit go down. I'm gonna try not to cry because the bitch got a meeting.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Right, so today's episode is a bit difficult to digest, being that we are now only understanding, I'm speaking for us here, the impact of what Donald Trump has done by revoking the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Right, you know, when he signed this order, and then he started seeing videos on TikTok of Black Americans reacting, it's when we began to understand the impact of what he had done. Because yes,
yeah, a lot of you had told us to research from an episode we did yesterday. So a lot of you kept on telling us to research about the Civil Rights Act of 1965. So we were looking into it, and oh my goodness, I feel like this has worked Black Americans.
Yeah, and it is setting a stage for something sinister. I mean, I don't know yet what it is, but it doesn't.
I know
air
what it
feels
is.
rotten.
Right, because guys, picture a world where
We know, don't
right
we,
now
Black
we've gone
America?
so far,
We
but
know what
picture
it
a
is.
world where Black Americans are going back to a point where that they cannot even fight for their own rights because it's legal for them to not get hired. Yeah, picture a world where it's legal for women to not get jobs in let's even say just corporate environment. Yeah, because a man feels like they cannot have a woman in the office. That is the kind of the kind of age they're going back into.
Yeah, and I don't know how many
That's
of you
where
guys
we
have
going.
watched The
We're going
Handmaiden.
back. We already there.
Anyway, that being said, guys, let's watch this video and then you come back and talk about it. Please remember to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and also let us know what you think about this episode in the comment section.
Right.
So he did it. He just revoked the Civil Rights Act of 1965, put in place by President Lyndon B. Johnson. So they can discriminate against race, gender, sexual orientation, religion. They can do all of that. They have the right to do it. Him getting back in office was not for the greater good. He came back, and he came back with a vengeance. If you are a person of color and if you voted for him, because you can resonate with him, low gas and groceries, which when that goes into place, it'll be under Biden's tax plan. I just want to let you know that when he was doing real estate, people that look like me and you, he didn't want to serve us. So everything that our ancestors fought for, everything that Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, Shirley Chisholm, Jesse Jackson, everything that they fought for has been dismantled because you didn't want a woman to run this country. So thank you. Thank you. You have set us 100 years back. It is going to be a long 4 years.
This is heavy. It's warm. Loads of pockets. I'm impressed with it. This is the Bearskin tactical hoodie.
Thousands of men around the world.
Y'all do not know what you guys have done. It wasn't just about the illegal immigrants that's in this country. It wasn't about that. You know, he came back and he came back with a vengeance. And you guys just gave it to him right there. So thank you.
This is your reminder. We are resting. Some of you may need to unplug completely from social media and the news because, as I have said,
Told you.
we are under spiritual attack. The goal is to break us spiritually, and some of y'all are already folding. Executive orders cannot change laws that Congress has made. So that order is not revoking the Civil Rights Act of 1965. What is happening is at the federal level. So federal employees and contractors. Is that bad? Yes. Is it as bad as y'all are crashing out for it to be? No. The most important thing for you to do right now is to take care of yourself. Please take some deep breaths in through the nose, hold for 4, and out through the mouth. Recenter yourself and ground yourself. Everything is going to be okay. Do we have work to do?
Yeah.
Yes. Are we resting from solving other people's problems?
Yes.
Also, yes. But we must, and I mean must, get our spiritual house in order and regulate our emotions, regulate our nervous systems. That will help us learn to respond and not react. My visceral reaction was to crash out when I first saw it too, but because I have regulated my emotions and my nervous system, I did some homework and found out what really is going on. This is probably going to conclude part 1, and I will be back with a second part later, because right now I need you to just focus on deep cleansing breaths and recentering yourself.
This is why people stopped talking to y'all, why you were excommunicated from your family and friends, because we knew this was going to happen. Donald Trump has revoked the Equal Employment Opportunity Act of 1965. Make America Great Again always meant a return to open racism, sexism, and other forms of bigotry. You were either too stupid to know that, or this is what you wanted all along. In either case, you're trash. The order prohibited discrimination in hiring and employment based on race, color, religion, sex, and national origin. His voters wanted this all along because they were told many times that this would happen. That's why they're all grouped together and we have a zero tolerance policy for them. They knew they were wrong about it because they were crashing out, but we stand by what we said. We don't want you here. You can't hang out with us. The presidential message says that industries and institutions have adopted and actively used dangerous, demeaning, and immoral race and sex-based preferences under the guise of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion. So-called diversity, equity, and inclusion, because everything was so fair prior to 1965. I know his voters are dumb and he's trying to rewrite history, but they can't be that dumb. He calls it ending illegal discrimination and restoring merit-based opportunity, back before Black people had rights. It's not a meritocracy when Black people can't vote and they're not allowed to hold certain positions. Restoring merit-based opportunity means restoring white supremacy. I'm just going to say it now because TikTok's suppressing me anyway. You know who benefited from the Equal Employment Opportunity Act of 1965? Katherine Johnson. A Black woman and mathematician at NASA who wasn't allowed in the same meeting rooms as white men and couldn't put her name on her research papers. Is this the kind of merit-based opportunity he's talking about? To my friends wanting to know what to do next, be disruptive and vocal because every battle counts. We're the ones who have the power, not them.
So what I learned today is a lot of people, a lot of y'all you don't care about your history. You don't care about the people that made sacrifices for you to be able to be where you are today, to be able to do the things that you're able to do, to be able to have the opportunities that you're able to have. You don't care about it. I just got off the phone with my mom, who
This
just
is
got off
it,
the phone
y'all.
with her mom, my grandmother, who she had to console because she was boohoo crying. And my mom didn't realize why. My grandmother was crying because she had saw the news that the orange man in charge had just put an executive order to repeal the Equal Opportunity Employment Act of the Civil Rights Act of 1965. Now, before that executive order was placed, that stood for over 50 years. An employer could literally tell you to your face, I'm sorry, I don't hire Black people. I don't hire women. And no consequences. They could literally be just that discriminatory towards people. And the reason that it upset my grandmother so much is because she remembers my great-grandmother and great-grandfather, her parents, the sacrifices, the marching, the hard working, the speaking out and trying to help change, trying to help get these opportunities for us, and the sacrifices these people made to their own families, not to being around their families sometimes because they were fighting for the good of us as a people, as a whole. And all this time later to see what you might think is trivial, what you might think is small, to see something that they worked, sacrificed, clawed, and scratched for be taken away by the stroke of a pen. And all because a few of us, not saying a lot of us, a few of us, because it was 92% and 80%. But every one of us counts. And a few of us decided a little bit of money was more important than preserving our history, than preserving the things that we fought for, to be able to have opportunities in this place. It's just sad, man. It's sad that, the further we get away from those times, the further our elders pass away and leave this world, and we aren't taught the things we need to be taught, and the knowledge isn't passed on to us. The further we get from that, the more and more easily it's going to be for us for things to roll back and go back in that direction. And I mean, it's unfortunate, but hey, man, just gotta keep grinding, keep fighting a good fight, and look for better days, work towards better days. But that's man, just hearing my mom and knowing that hurt my grandmother like that it's crazy, man. Yeah, we got to do better. As a whole, we got to do better.
Some breaking news here. Donald Trump has just revoked the Equal Opportunity Employment Executive Order signed by LBJ back in 1965. Now, this was a bedrock policy. This was highly impactful back in the 1960s. Women and men of color were trying hard to have careers in the government, and this helped them. From what I understand, from what I was reading up on the articles and everything, is that he's trying to basically going to start cutting DEI hires, employees, and whatnot out of the federal government. Now, a lot of people are upset about this, and a lot of people also need to understand why he's doing this. And I am not saying I agree with it. However, this is basically him trying to get rid of the stigma of, hey, because you're trans or you're Black or you're gay or you're a woman or you're colored of any kind of an ethnicity, that you are a diversity hire, which in and of itself is insulting to people of different creeds, sexes, religions, backgrounds, races, to sit there and say, I'm hiring you because of this, because they want to use you like a mascot to bring other people in to, following them, voting for them, supporting them, because they go, hey, look, I've got the trans person, the black person, the woman, and that kind of thing. That I disagree with that ever being okay, because that's just as bigoted as being against those people, because you're just using them as bait. This is still not the best thing, because he's going to start firing people who are probably been doing their jobs, and they're with the fact that he is going to be rolling that back, because I feel like that's going to set a further precedent that it's okay, and that I'm worried that other businesses and companies are going to try to follow this. Not saying that they legally could, because this is, as far as I'm aware, it only affects the federal government. So I don't want to fearmonger here, but let me know what you guys think down below, because some of these executive orders and rollbacks he's doing are very, very, very jarring, to say the least.
So guys, welcome back. Let us know what you think about this episode on the comment section, yeah?
How to get spotted up to $200.
Well,
apply for a chime checking account, install the app, set up direct deposit, unlock fee-free overdraft up to $200. Grab an
I feel like the people who voted, especially from the Black community who voted in Donald Trump, they didn't have the full information. But I feel like there are people who tried to warn against this, but they didn't listen. You understand what I'm saying? Because, okay, let's look at both Black and Latin communities. The reason they gave for voting for Trump, a lot of them were saying the main reason was economic, yeah, because they wanted better lives, and because they believed through Donald Trump's policies, they were going to get better prices for groceries, better prices for gas would go down, all was economic driven other than other factors. So you ask yourself,
I think they sacrificed other factors for the greater good of the economy.
But what they ignored is because there were warnings before all this happened. There were warnings of Project 2025, but
people tried to define what MAGA meant,
right, in their own description, yeah.
And I feel like it was convenient for some people to ignore the part of MAGA where, MAGA was great before slavery ended. They chose to ignore that part in order to give economic success a chance.
Right. And now I'm asking myself here to all these groups, because the Civil Rights Act did not only benefit Black people, but it also benefited other people who are not white, So I'm asking myself, if that bill has been revoked, it means Black people may not be employed if someone wishes to not employ them.
And if they be employed, they may not be able to be paid fairly, because already as it is, the Civil Rights Act, when it was still in existence, some Black people in corporate jobs were being paid lower than white people in holding the same jobs.
Right. Even now I'm asking myself, if you voted for this because you wanted a better economic standing, how are you going to achieve that, being that right now it's going to be even more difficult for you, because you won't be able to get that work just because
they give first priority to their people. And
to the white women who voted for Trump, let's go there, to the white women and the Hispanic women who voted for Trump. Are you happy with the results right now? Let's just face it. I want to ask you right now, if you're watching and you voted for Trump, are you happy with that result? I just want to know, no judgment,
because I do understand why some people would ignore things they term as a red flag. But I do understand Trump also had some other good plans when he takes office. Now some people are saying that this law being banned, it might not affect everybody in all sectors. It will only affect those who work with the government, especially the ones who are being given slots under DEI. But I do feel like whatever the highest power, in an organization, whatever the highest power does, it will affect even the person holding the lowest power. Meaning, if
just say it, discrimination.
If discrimination will start at all those beautiful government offices, it will trickle down to corporate, it will trickle down even to the most common employer who is employing other employees, and he has employees of all races. You get what I'm saying?
And then, guys, think about it. Even if you say it won't affect, just Maureen said, affect the people down here, just the people from the government. Can you imagine? Can you picture if you're a woman and you had a woman in government who was fighting for women's rights? Once that woman has been removed from that due to discrimination, do you think you have someone who holds your interest, who's going to be fighting for your rights, for you to be employed and such like things? So it's going to affect everybody. It's not just at the government.
Right. And I do believe Black people fought the good fight because both the demography of both men and women, they were the highest percentage that voted the other way because of their conviction and what they had their own convictions in what they believed in. I'm just wondering and asking myself how these 4 years are going to be like, because other groups of Black Americans, they are considering to just strap up and let what may be because it wasn't their choice that has put the whole country here. But my big question is, and my big worry is, even if they decide to take a step backwards, everything that happens, Black people usually tend to get it in equal measure, not equal, double than what other groups get.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember back to when America was celebrating Thanksgiving, and we saw the clips on social media where those who voted for Trump were being castigated and they were being set aside by their families, And some people in the comment section were saying people are too sensitive and these are just politics. It shouldn't make families separate or people break up. But
this
now we
is the
find
reason
yourself
why
here.
people were sensitive. People were not sensitive. They saw it coming.
If your family member told you to advise you against voting red and you ended up voting red, and now you're the reason why, Black men in your family are going to be discriminated against should they get jobs. You're the reason why women in your family are going to receive it the way, Trump wants it,
And then, guys, as it is right now, there are some jobs. Okay, a lot of Black people, they got good jobs because of their merits. That's no lie. But there's also a lot of organizations that were giving some types of jobs to people of color and Black people as token, so that their companies may not be seen as racist. So imagine if that was happening
with this law in place.
When this law has finally been removed, what will happen?
Right. Human beings are very prejudiced in nature, and it's just in the nature of human beings to discriminate and to do something to judge. That is the word I'm looking for. It's in human nature to judge. So you tell me, what is the reason? There must be a reason why this law was put in place, and we all know the some of the things Black Americans went through.
Yeah.
We all know some of the things that slavery done away with.
And I feel like if this law was put in place to begin with both ancestors, white and Black, it's
But I just
because
wanted
they
to
knew
see that video.
what this law meant during those days. But right now, I feel like it starts with the little things, like how just removing
roundabout, let people get jobs with merit. What does that mean?
And already as it is, systemic racism really does exist, and ever since time immemorial, Black people, in order to have a good start in life, they usually don't have equal opportunities even after they finish high school with white people. And now after this is removed, it starts with them chipping away at small things like this until when eventually they get to big things that matter, people won't have the strength to fight for those big things anymore. People will just conform.
Right. Guys, I don't know what you think about this episode. Let us know what you think about this episode in the comment section. But my last take is that America, I would say, is headed to dark times. I feel like a lot of important things, a lot is happening in America right now, and the society, I feel like this is chipping away at society slowly by slowly. And right now, I feel like there's a lot of division,
amongst every group in America, unless
after they all come
they
together
start
against
removing
Black
things
America.
like this Civil Rights Act and other things. If the people themselves will decide to act with dignity, but when have we ever known most of them to do so? But let's just assume maybe they can have a positive transition into the next plan they want, but I'm trying to find a positive point here, guys, but I don't know. I mean, I guess only time will tell.
I'd like to know what was going on in the heads of white women who voted for Trump, because right now, guys, this is gonna sound bad, but I remember we did an episode where, and I've been seeing also videos of personal experience on TikTok where people were talking about how, and it's not all of them, but how white women, if it's up to them, they'd like to sit around all day and do nothing. Maybe, I'm just saying, maybe the reason why they voted for Trump, because according to Project 2025,
women are supposed to be going back
at
to
home, housewives.
Yes.
And let's just say, when you look at what happened during slavery, palm-colored women, they used to sit around. Things
And
were
do
being
nothing
done
all
for
day.
them. Things were being brought to their,
Guys, let's just maybe, I don't know.
How are they feeling about this situation? Because I feel like the only thing that they really feel
if it affects them directly, like the reproductive
thing and the gender thing, that is what they're marching
and
for.
maybe a few of them will
Wow. Just started it. I actually got to the part where he was talking about his mother was she was, watching over, caretaker for his great grandmother. But I just wanted us to see how that ripple from what the revocation of the Civil Rights Act, how it's affecting our elders. Right now, tonight, all over the country, we can't even imagine what they feeling, what they going through. But I wrote down some notes from that, and she said that Donald Trump's order directs all executive departments and agencies to terminate all discriminatory and illegal preferences, mandates, policies, programs, activities, guidance, regulations, enforcements, actions, consent orders, and requirements. And that's on the federal level, but in the private sector, it also extends to the private sector. These right here, they also extend to the private sector, as well as all agencies, to enforce our long-standing civil rights laws and to combat illegal private sector DEI preferences, mandates, policies, and programs. Also orders federal agencies to compile lists of public companies, universities, and large foundations for investigations and possible civil actions over their DEI programs. Yeah, it said right there. To compile lists of public companies, university, and large foundations for investigations and possible civil action over their DEI programs. And then she said, we got dark times coming up. But the brother said that Trump called it his illegal discrimination and restoring merit-based opportunity back before we had rights. That was before we had the merit-based opportunity. We going back to that right there. America didn't have no merit for us. It's just a matter of time before they start kicking us out of stuff again. See, that's what we get. We always wanted everything. And the whole time America just been setting us up to take it right back. But yeah, like sis was saying and stuff, ain't no need in worrying about this. We just got to do what we got to do. Yeah, we got to do what we got to do. Stop all the bullshit. Get your kids. Let your kids know, yeah, it's a new day now. Yeah, we in the past now. We roll back. We're going to have to start cutting some things out. Be straight up and honest with them. Don't let them be caught off guard too. Because we don't know how white America finna flip the script on us. We don't know how they gonna come out the bag on us. We don't know if they're gonna have mercy for us, white women, white America, white society. Is we finna get any sincerity from anybody now? Because I tell you one thing, when they start squeezing and everybody start losing, oh yeah, they finna turn the blind eye, the mean eye, the evil eye right at Black America. All over again. This is where we've been taken to. This is where we've been taken to. The world already in fucking chaos. And now worrying about all of that, dealing with all of that. Now here comes this. And I was, I'm really glad that everyone is telling our stories, but I think we need to get out here and tell our stories too while we can. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that, Black America and your allies, your white folks, your white friends and family and stuff, if y'all really love Black America, then you need to be trying to put together something. And somebody need to go up there and say, you're going to take this off the table. You cannot take this. Somebody got to say, you cannot revoke this from Black folks. We know everybody finna get it. But didn't I just say, once everybody can make their lot easier, they gonna side with the other side and leave us in the mud. So yeah, Black America, it's time to get your ass up. I don't know. Just like they trying to push all of this surrealness, we're going to have to get up and help our critical thinkers. We're going to have to get up and help our people that know somewhere in them damn books, it's got to be a clause. I don't care if it's that big. Somebody going to find it. And we need to be ready to stand behind them when they do. Because, honey, the more this go on right here, honey, yeah, we gonna be sitting in 1965. Then we're going to see ourselves in 1950, 1940, 1930, all the way right on back to 1865. Yeah, watch and see. You better wake your asses up. You better wake up. If you gotta listen to some music, you better put on your mama music. You better put on your mama music. That's all I got to say. Yep. So literally, in other words, we're going to be at the mercy. Again. Namely, white folks. We're going to be at the mercy of white folks. Pitiful. A fool and a dummy. A whole fool and a dummy. Done sit up here and let your people get sacrificed. For what? Some fame and fortune? Couple of degrees? Couple of houses here and houses there? Yes, ancestors, come back. Yeah, and then she was saying that once they start firing folks, is it gonna take off? Is everybody else gonna start doing it too? Of course, we know they are. We already know they are. So put your stuff in the chat. Put your stuff in the chat. Somebody will come and buy a candle. Somebody will come and buy a candle, a t-shirt, something. Whatever you got, put it in the chat. We ain't got time to waste. We do not have time to waste. Shit, I'm already late, and if you here, you probably already late too. But I know one thing that I think it was Sister was saying, we can't conform. We can't just lay down and let this be. They taking us back to before we had rights. They ain't finna take our cosmic rights now. No, they can't have that right there. We're gonna have to hang on to that. We're gonna have to hang on to our human rights, our cosmic rights, because the cosmos manifested us. See, that's why I've been telling y'all this is spiritual. We looking through a spiritual lens of loyalty, and we weren't loyal to our ancestors. We ain't been loyal to us. Our ancestors, they might not come. Might not come and save our asses. We done forsake them the whole time. Yep, we done forsake them the whole time, over and over and over again. Yep, for white folks, for white America, to be with white America. Yep. Done gave everything away. We don't think about nothing. We done even trapped our ancestors in heaven with these demons right here. Yep, he said he had a spiritual vision. A robed men galloping across the sky. He revived the KKK too. Because of that vision, then you come along to talk about heaven. Yep, sure will's heaven. Gone up there now. Yep, it's a new day now. They ready to tell you. White America is ready to tell us. I bet you during this new rollback, when we deep in the thick of this shit, I bet you they finna reveal everything that we refuse to even see. Everything we refuse to think about and contemplate. They finna go and let us know, yeah, y'all should have paid attention to that, Black America. Y'all should have paid attention to that. Y'all should have paid attention to that. We were telling y'all when we did that, so many opportunities. You ain't seen nothing. Just trying to be liked and loved by white America, by white people. Yep, everybody got to be held accountable. Everybody got to be held accountable but white folks. 60 years. Was that 60 years? 1965 to 2025. I think it was like 60 years. Yep. Well, who finna come and save y'all now? I mean, when we get in the thick of shit. Who finna come and save y'all now? Jesus. Because he didn't come and save our ancestors. I don't know. I'm just saying, we spiritual here. We gonna get it out. My view. Leave religion somewhere. You're in the wrong room. You want to talk about religion. We ain't looking through them views and stuff. We know what it did. It made you forgive. It made you complacent. We're not trying to forgive nothing. And we ain't condoning nothing. Not then and not now. However this whole thing turns out, we ain't forgiving that either. Because nobody would still have this grudge, this vendetta against the people that ain't never done nothing to even deserve this. Or people that just wanted their freedom, their own liberation. Who would have that devilish of a mind? And we try so hard to just keep the peace. We shouldn't have never gave us up for white America. White America had never proved nothing anyway. They didn't never prove to us that they would change, that they were sincere with us. Well, I just hope that, I can let us know that, hey, it is a better day coming. We can get through this shit. All we got to do, honey, is, hey, just be for each other now. Fuck it. Fuck they ass. Put your stuff in the chat. And let's just be for us now. Let's keep our finances going. Don't be afraid to downgrade. Cause fuck the dumb shit now. Downgrade if you need to. Take all of your little savings and stuff. Go stack up your pantry. Get stuff that we need for our homes and stuff for our babies. Fill up your deep freezers. You know, get ready to portion off your foods and stuff. Because, yeah, you're going to be eating very lightly now. Learn how to ration out some, you know. Serve halves of meat and just cut them real tiny to have them with each bite. But, yeah, we gotta put forth some effort here. We really do. Because I'm still like, you know, I think I'm probably in shock. I don't know. I know I'm sleepy. But, yeah, I think I'm kind of in shock. Maybe tomorrow they'll be like, oh, you know, the Supreme Court said that was unconstitutional. You think so? And then we'll be like, oh, that was a close call. But the fact that they even want to do it, where's all this leading to? Yeah, we finna read. Because I'm not going to keep us here all night tonight. Yep. Sure ain't. I'm not behind this right here. And Black woman, honey, my sister. We think we're going to have it easy. What we plan on doing? Siding with the white woman against the black man? Is that what Black America or Black women plan on doing? After, you know, oh yeah, that's my friend Karen. And ain't nobody coming to get y'all asses. Sure ain't. Ain't nobody coming to get y'all asses. You finna need some money. And honey, you finna be over there cleaning Karen's house. Sure will. You finna be cooking for Karen and watching them kids and stuff here. You might be breastfeeding again for Karen babies. Yep, my sister. Mm-hmm. Yes, honey. Oh, yeah, we're going to get some sleep tonight. We're going to time travel tonight and see what it's going to look like. You know, I'm going to come back and let y'all know everything what it's finna look like. Because it's finna be really, really crucial out here. We ain't even breastfeeding our own babies. But white folks finna bring it back. Yeah, white folks finna have us doing whatever. Y'all, because, honey, I can go back to basic, honey. I can be without. I ain't got no fancy life over here. Sure don't, honey. I know how to eat without meat because I ain't got it. Sure wills, honey. Shit, woo-wee. I know how to be satisfied with my little fingernails here. I'm cleaning anyway. They breaking off and stuff. Yeah, we better learn how to go back to basic and stuff. Get rid of some of that old high price shit. You better take some of that stuff, like I said, to Plato's Closet. Take it to the pawn shops. Sell a whole bunch of that shit you don't need. Take that money and go start buying up your preparation. Yep. Ooh, we ancestors, please help me get in place. Yep. So here, y'all, we still reading racial violence in the United States. Ooh, Let me go take a break. Y'all take a break too. How do you even pause this thing? Let me see. Can somebody tell me how to pause this? Because I need to take me a break before I start reading. I got to go use the bathroom. How do you pause this thing? Can somebody tell me that? Yeah, I'm serious. Serious about what, Hank? I'm very serious. Yep. Mm-hmm. Honey, they finna take us back. You said, am I serious? Oh, you must be talking to somebody else then. But yeah, how do I pause this thing? Because I got to take me a 2-minute break. Well, you know, I just put something on for y'all. How about that? Because drinking all this water and stuff, I'm just drinking water tonight. I don't have any tea or anything. But yes, honey, we is all the way back. Oh, we. That's hard to believe. Yeah. I wonder what everybody thinking now that voted for Trump. I wonder what all our family thinking now that's out there telling everybody to vote for Trump. Yeah, vote for Trump, vote for Trump. How do they ass feel now? Are they gonna come back and tell people, oh, I'm sorry I told y'all to vote for Trump? Yeah, really wanting to sit on the man team. Got hats and flags and shirts. Got the side of their car, outfitted with Trump and stuff. Got flags on top of the car and all kind of ignorant. And y'all know this right here is the Defiant Lawyers Network. Oh. I don't think y'all can see that. Oh. I don't think I want to start all the way back there. He going in, y'all. He done suspended the Civil Rights Division in the Department of Justice.
Because Donald Trump's Department of Justice has put a freeze on the Civil Rights Division within the Department of Justice. That is really, really serious. But I told you.
I just want to put that on.
I told you they were coming for.
I just want that on.
African Americans have gone from bad to worse. Because Donald Trump's Department of Justice has put a freeze on the Civil Rights Division within the Department of Justice. That is really, really serious. But I told you they were coming for civil rights. And so let's go to this article so that you can see. This is the Washington Post that is reporting this. The Justice Department issues freeze for Civil Rights Division. Let's read some of this article because you need to understand the import of this. The Justice Department has ordered the Civil Rights Division to halt much of its investigative activity dating from the Biden administration and not pursue new indictments, cases, or settlements, according to a memo sent to the temporary head of the division that was obtained by the Washington Post. So we see here investigative activity that concerns anything from the Biden administration is on freeze. The letter instructs Kathleen Wolf, designated by the Trump administration as supervisor of the division, to ensure that civil rights attorneys do not file or now the first thing I want to do is point out Kathleen Wolf placed Kristen Clark. Kristen Clark was that firebrand civil rights attorney who was doing tremendous work in the Department of Justice under Biden and Harris. She's an African-American woman. She is no longer in that place to protect African Americans. She has been replaced with this woman, Kathleen Wolf. That is bad in and of itself, right by itself. That is horrible. All right, this goes on to say cases that have already been filed will be subject to the discretion of the judge overseeing them. So cases that have been filed, they're in the court system. So the judges will continue to oversee those cases. A separate memo sent to Wolf on Wednesday says the Civil Rights Division must notify the Justice Department's chief of staff of any consent decrees the division has finalized within the last 90 days. That directive suggests that police reform agreements the Justice Department has negotiated with cities, including Minneapolis, Louisville, and Memphis, could be in jeopardy. Again, horrible.
Minneapolis.
Consent decrees are agreements between
let me see
the
this
Department of
again
Justice and
Wait a
police
minute.
departments that have shown this department has negotiated with cities, including Minneapolis.
Because I ain't heard nobody
The
here.
Civil Rights Division must notify. This goes on to say cases that have already been filed will be subject to the discretion of the judge overseeing them. So cases that have been filed, they're in the court system. So the judges will continue to oversee those cases. A separate memo sent to Wolf on Wednesday says the Civil Rights Division must notify the Justice Department's Chief of Staff of any consent decrees the division has finalized within the last 90 days. That directive suggests that police reform agreements the Justice Department has negotiated with cities, including Minneapolis, Louisville, and Memphis, could be in jeopardy. Again, horrible. Consent decrees are agreements between the Department of Justice and police departments that have shown patterns and practices of discrimination against African American people. Well, those consent decrees are now in jeopardy, and that's just so very disturbing. You see, this is a wake-up call. If the videos that I made to tell you that this was going to happen, if they didn't get your attention, you see this happening now in real time, just like I told you. We're not dealing with, this is not play. This is serious. This is very serious. African Americans' civil rights are in jeopardy. Just yesterday, I did a live video talking about what it meant for Trump's executive order that rescinded a 1965 executive order which protected our civil rights in government contracting, right? And let me emphasize once again, there are some Black YouTubers who are running around saying that birthright citizenship has been revoked. That's not true, because Trump's executive order cannot revoke the United States Constitution. Birthright citizenship is a part of the 14th Amendment, which is a part of the U.S. Constitution. And an executive order from Donald Trump cannot change that. What they're hoping is people will sue them so that the case can get in front of SCOTUS. And they're probably very confident that SCOTUS will rule in their favor. Now, I'm going to do another video on birthright citizenship. I did one a month or so ago, but I'm going to do another one to update and to further explain to you how this could go down, how this could should be concerned and not.
Well, it's still skipping and stuff. I know I got to get another monitor. I think that's what it is. I just have this one monitor. And it's, it's really slow and stuff, going back from screen to screen and stuff. I don't know. But I think we got the gist of what was said. I think we got the bulk of what was said to let us know that, this is bad. This is bad. We cannot half step. We can't half step right here, y'all. Minneapolis. Yeah, Louisville, and I'm going to have to watch this again for the other state that he said. So that's Kentucky and Minnesota. And there's another state he said that they done come into this agreement to suspend the Civil Rights Division of the Department of Justice. And see, with the revocation of the Civil Rights Act, I guess all of the agencies, that's what Sister has said, all of the agencies are going to, dismantle. They're going to pull it out. Where is it? I wrote it on something. But yeah, we finna read anyway because we ain't gonna get too upset about it. No, don't get worried. Just get wary. Let's not be worried. Let's be wary. Find ways that we can turn this whole thing around for us because we don't need them. We don't need none of their asses. We just need us to get through this next 4 years. White America finna show theyself. Be prepared. Be prepared. White America finna show theyself again. Call your ancestors. Call on the ancestors. Your spirit team, your archangels. Add that right there. See, this right here is spiritual. Yeah, I know about your God, your Yahweh, your Jesus Christ and stuff. Add that little ammunition to it. Add the ammunition to it because you're going to need it. You're going to need to start thinking with common sense now. Anybody coming around you with that low vibe and shit, tell them, this ain't the place or the time. Turn that shit off or you must leave. I love you too, daughter. Here, take this $20 and you can go on about your business. But leave the babies here. See, we got to cut out all of that bullshit because we got to also make sure that our babies is going to be okay. That our babies don't end up somewhere they ain't got no business being. Just keep them at home. Just keep them at home. Yeah, honey, we really fucked up. Yep, sure did. I'm just saying we because I'm part of the collective. But hell, I didn't know. If I'd have known, and yeah, I'd have been in position. I've been telling everybody. So it would have more than I was when I did started finding out. Because that's what we're going to have to do. From now on, from here on out, it's got to be about us, Black America. It's got to be about us. We don't mean no harm to nobody else. And we will help others that fall, within our means. And they need help. We will help others. But this got to be about us. Yeah, our focus got to be on us and our children, our homes, our education. We got to always be wary. Don't be worried, be wary. Don't be going places with everybody. Hell, shit, if you and Sabrina been together for a while and stuff, you know her family. You know which ones that's kind of fucked up. Something about them. Don't try to be friends right now. This ain't the time to prove that y'all family. This is not the time to prove that y'all family and stuff because your ass gonna end up missing somewhere. White folks is really finna start saying how they feel. They've been repressing. Well, hell, they've been repressing this. They have been repressing this rage and this anger, this savagery for decades. Decades now. When was the last massacre in this book? 1943? 1963? Well, other than the massacres, we know what they did to our leaders. All of them. So I say a couple of decades. They've been repressing the rage against Black America. And honey, I'm not sorry to tell y'all. So because all of y'all asses need to know. We in another awakening. We are in another motherfucking awakening. And ain't nobody even told us that, hell, we were being watched. Ain't nobody even told us we were being monitored. We were being studied. Except for our mentors and our critical thinkers that we ain't know nothing about. And now that they so available on YouTube, we ain't even cared. See how we've been set up. You see how everybody set us up. Just set us smooth up. Yeah, so now, we ain't got no choice now. Yeah, this might be your last night of peace. Mine too. Yeah, mine too. I know I need to go get some spring water for my garlic though, because I got me a bag of soil. But this might be our last night for, some peace. After this right here, yeah. You gotta start throwing off them wigs and peeling off them fingernails and stuff. Yeah. We gotta start preparing. Preparation, yep. You're gonna have to do your own garden. You gonna have to set up your own garden. Now you could do it easy, or you could do it, you could go all in with it. But you're gonna have to make your area in your house, somewhere on the porch. If you down south somewhere, wherever you at, utilize whatever space you got. Go sell some of that stuff you got that you really don't need, because we going back. Ain't no need you walking around here looking like Louis Vuitton and Gucci and Chanel and them and stuff. And we is like back in, 1945, 1922. Everybody else is dressing, back to basic for the time we be in. You mean tell me you still finna run around here with these nails on and this wig and stuff and all of the glamour and stuff? It's not gonna work. That is not gonna work, sister. No, we already done. We didn't go forward. We didn't go forward where that can still be, acceptable, attractive, and the thing. Nah, we went backwards. You gotta go sell all that stuff, but you're gonna need that money. Yep. And I was just saying, somebody need to be telling, the government stuff to save the cash money and give it to Black America. Because 1, you owe us. 2, we need it. And 3, we're in dire straits. We're in extreme crisis. But, it's by design. So what make us think they're going to give us anything, that we ask for and stuff? That's why don't hold your breath for that reparations, $151 million. No, Black America, this is it. I mean, dang, I said I was late getting to the fight. I meant I was late. Hell, it ain't even been 6 months yet. And the shit done hit the fan. Let's read. We'll hope for a better day tomorrow. We're going to pray. Y'all going to pray. I meditate for a better day tomorrow. And some ideas. Pray to your God, your higher power, add the ancestors to it, and I'll do the same. I'll meditate, I ask all of them for some ideas, some creations, some solutions so we can get through. We can get through this, and we still reading and learning and stuff, so hopefully our own creative juices will kick in, and then we can start, trying to help ourselves. We got to help ourselves. But first, we got to find out why we self-hating. And we know Dr. Ray Hagins, we've been here a minute. We know Dr. Ray Hagins coined it as dedicated ignorance because we refuse to wake up. And now look, we ain't got to refuse to wake up now. No, this the end. This is it. Yeah, if you ain't got to wake up if you don't want to, stay asleep. Yeah, stay asleep. That might be better for you. Yeah, it might be better for some of y'all. Just stay asleep, and then you wake up. You ain't missed nothing. We already in 1822. Yeah. Like right now, he done revoked it. This 1965. When you stay asleep, go on to sleep. When you wake up, it might be like 18, 22. Something like that. We're gonna be way back there. And hopefully somebody wake you up then. But yeah, I can't believe folks let this happen. I wonder what they're going to be saying tomorrow. Who going to be blaming who? Is anybody going to stand up and say, hey, that's unconstitutional? Didn't she just say something was, him trying to revoke birthright citizens? People that were born here and stuff. And they said that now that's unconstitutional. Can't they do that for revoking civil rights too? Well, they need to find a way. You ask me. But let's read. Yep. Actions of police and the military in American race riots. And we know they're called massacres. Like they're going to be called again, massacres. And it's really going to be tough this time. It's really going to be tough this time. Because, see, Black people fighting back now. It ain't gonna be just, and the white folks got the upper hand. So it's gonna be more violence, more homeless babies, orphans. Yeah, depending on white America. But from where I sit, this right here is setting the stage. Yeah, this right here is setting the stage for everything that's done happened. They've been saying history will repeat itself. Well, there you have it. Y'all know what you're running for. There you have it. Yep, history repeating itself right there. I mean, I can't do nothing. It was just like that right there. It just came to me. History done repeated itself. I was telling y'all a few weeks ago, a few days ago, a few on airs ago, that, history repeat itself if the situation is right. If the circumstance, and I forgot what book I read in there, but it said that if the circumstances is right, and things is set up how it's supposed to, then history will repeat itself. And that's what it's doing. Y'all could have stopped this if you had just voted for Kamala and just at least have another day to look out for yourself. Have another day, just one more day, so you can call your own shots. Black America, always sacrificing yourself. I mean, we done dumbed ourselves down for white America. We done forsaked our ancestors for white America. We done refused to remember anything that they have done and are doing. Done literally sat there and handed ourselves. Y'all did. Those of y'all, like Sister said, those of y'all that voted for a third party, those of y'all that voted for Donald Trump, those of y'all that didn't vote at all, not to mention white folks, the white men's doing it. They voted for him. Then all the white women voted for him too. Then black folk gonna have them there to go up there and add your vote. So now let's see what's finna happen. Is anybody finna stand up and say, hey, that's unconstitutional? Now you done did a lot of stuff and you can do a lot of stuff, Mr. President, but you can't do that. We're not gonna let you do that to them. Now, we're not gonna let you do. Somebody gotta stand up and say something. We're not gonna let you do that to them black folks like that. I don't care how they put it. Look at here, we're not gonna let you do that to them. You done did enough to them people. Leave them alone. Is somebody gonna stand up for us? Why y'all think we still got friends? We still got friends. We still trying to bring folks to the cookout. Black America. And look what done happened. Yep. Actions of police and the military in American race riots. Well, we know in Kentucky it said when the military came, honey, the military came and the white folks was there, and the white folks told the military that the black neighborhood was shooting at them and throwing bottles and stuff like that, and it was harming them. And honey, don't you know the military gave white folks ammunition and started attacking black folks with the white folks. So did, honey, the military. Yep. Started attacking black folks with the white folks. Black folks thought the military coming. Well, at least they finally here. Honey, they came and they were beating on black folks too. Black folks didn't know what to think. Sure didn't. And so now, I know we hope these things don't happen again. But who's to say they won't? History is repeating itself. History will repeat itself. And rolling us back. That says a lot. Taking away the Civil Rights Act, not only from us, but from everybody that benefited from it. Like the LGBTQ and you know, and other folks that benefited from it and stuff. But like I said, you know, other folks are they're gonna be persuaded and swayed, you know, to the other side. So they really not gonna be of any assistance to us. You know, maybe for a little while, you know, they will be, but once it really set in, you know, damn, I can have it a little easier. You know, I'll be able to feed the babies and, you know, we can have it a little easier. Hell, we just stop being friends with Face now. You know, we just got to cut them Johnsons off. You know, them Metcalfs, we got to let them go. You know, we won't be hard on them and we won't do like other folks do. But, you know, this where we got to go our separate ways, man. So so Black America don't feel like, you know what? What the fuck you saying? We've been best friends. We've been together for 35 years. Don't start all that bullshit. Because it is what it is. You say anything, you need to be saying, give me my kids. Please, give me my kids. Because you know, when you go back over there to them, they finna ride your ass. Yeah, they finna ride you. You finna make up. You know, yeah, for loving it. Yeah, you finna make up for loving the interracial romance that you had, that marriage, that love thing that you had. If you go back, yeah. Everybody got a decision to make. And you know, us as Black people, we can't let everybody be coming faking the funk. Oh, yeah, this Sabrina, we've been married 40 years. We got kids and grandkids, knowing damn well Sabrina, like, love you and them kids. But other Black folks, she can't stand them. Other Black folks, she can't stand them. So be honest with yourself. Because, see, she the type of woman, when she get older and realize, damn, I should have stayed with Brad. I would at least have some money, some wealth. I'd have been going to the thrift store shopping. I'd have been going on vacations. And now I'm staying in this damn 2-bedroom apartment. And, you know, it's nice, though. It's modest. You know, it's an honest home. But that ain't what she want. She want, you know, the easy living and stuff. You know, the wealthy living and stuff. But, you know, the Black man, he done got broke down and stuff. He older, you know, his body failing on him and stuff, you know. And they didn't never really have money and stuff like that, wealth and comfort. So at that point, hell, the white woman pissed. So, yeah, the only thing you can say, you know, brother and sister, is, hey, give me my kids. And maybe they'll have some mercy and some honesty, some loyalty and love to them babies to say, okay, take them with you. Because they know, they automatically know. I don't want to hear no bullshit about this. They already know how their people feel. Karen, Sabrina, they already know how they people feel about Black folks. So any of them tell you, no, I'm taking these kids with me, they're my kids. You need to really question and consider, how the hell is you going to get your babies? What are you going to do? Because now this is not finna be a game. And we not finna float through this. We not finna lose us. We can't be divided. We can't be no more divided. From this point on, we need to be thinking about Black America. And Black America only. You know, now, like I said, everybody else and stuff, you know, everybody else got something. They got a decision to make. Right here, we making decisions about Black America. Yeah. So let's read. Let's see what the hell finna happen, y'all. Okay, actions of the police and the military and American race riot. Yeah, what's finna happen? a byproduct of the increasing urbanization of American society is the concentration of social control functions in formalized agencies. And that's Turner and Killian, 1957. In a situation of anonymity, in a situation of anonymity and a complex division of labor, police forces increasingly lose the ability to apply informal sanctions for the enforcement of behavior to meet the normative demands of the larger society, and more are pressed to rely on secular rule by force. At the same time, while communication patterns with societal subgroups may become more and more attenuated, such former police forces retain the ideological orientations of the groups from which they themselves are recruited. You mean like, well, I was going to say like the KKK, but I guess it's like, other organizations. But let's read. Lambert found in his study of communal violence in India, and that's Lambert, 1951, that as an accompaniment, accompaniment, accompaniment to broad changes in the social organization of the Indian polity, polity, in the period immediately preceding independence, there was a breakdown in the formal system of social controls. Policemen came to be regarded not as neutral arbiters of social disputes operating within a system of legal redress for grievances, but rather as armed representatives of the communities from which they were originally recruited. This interpretation of their role was accepted by members of the rival community, by members of their own community, and increasingly by the policemen themselves. When this occurred, the usefulness of the police in social control was sharply reduced, and in some cases, police activities contributed to further disruption of social organization. The role played by police forces in urban race riots in the United States has not been uniform. In at least a few cases, the situation, as defined both by the police and the conflicting racial groups, has been similar to that described above as having been endemic in India at the time of independence. In other cases, prompt and nonpartisan police action has been effective in either preventing the eruption of major interracial disturbances or in confining them and bringing them to a prompt close. Formal agencies of social control have played a pivotal role in the history of social interracial violence in this country, and that's Grimshaw, 1961. Action or inaction of individual police officers has determined, at times, the occurrence or non-occurrence of racial violence. In the Chicago riot of 1919, the refusal of a white police officer to arrest a white person accused of throwing the rock responsible for the drowning of the first victim of the riot, Eugene Williams. Remember, he crossed that line, the color line, the line in the water. He floated over there, him and the other boys and stuff, and they started throwing rocks at him and stuff. Followed by his later arrest of a Negro on the complaint of a white person, is alleged to have been the precipitating cause of the riot. So see, what had happened was Eugene and the kids, because when it first was telling about the Chicago riot, it was so hot. White folks and black folks decided to go to the beach. And, the white folks was on their part of the beach, they end, and black folks was on their end of the beach. And they had a line, something crossing the water, so they already know, white folks over here and black folks over here. But black folks had tried to go around to the white folks side and get in the water, but they wasn't able to. So they went back over to their side. I don't just trying, I guess, But nobody knew that the boys was on the back side of the black lake. And they was on the rafters floating and stuff. Eugene Williams, they say his name, and the other 2 or 3 boys. And they floated across the line and stuff. And then white folks started throwing rocks and sticks and clubs and stuff. And one of them hit Eugene and he started bleeding. And one of the other boys actually got to him to save him, but he was flailing and stuff. and he had to let him go, and he drowned and stuff. And then, you know, that's when the black people got mad and stuff. And I think it said that some white folks actually tried to help get him too out the water, you know, when he went under and stuff. But black people was really upset and mad and stuff, and everybody was into it, and something happened, a fight or something. And then the police came there, and the police wouldn't arrest the white man. And, you know, that right there literally was, you know, the beginning of the riot, the 1919 Chicago massacre. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and the one that threw the rock that hit Eugene, they didn't arrest him either. No, they didn't arrest him either for throwing the rock that caused the injury that, you know, caused him to drown. Analysis of the activities of the police has been made by police officials, as in Detroit, 1943, or by organizations highly hostile to the police in Detroit and in other areas. It is not surprising that estimates of the efficiency and partisanship of police forces vary sharply. White policemen have refused to protect Negroes, and in some cases have actually joined in attacks on Negroes. On the other hand, although every riot has produced allegations of misbehavior on the part of individual police officers, in some disturbances, police forces have acted so as to gain the approbation, approbation. Police forces have acted so as to gain the approbation of leadership elements of both the white and Negro communities. This was true, for example, of the activities of the New York Police Department in the Harlem disturbances of 1943. Federal or state troops, National Guardsmen, state militia, and state troopers have all been called on to participate in riot control activities. A search for consistencies in the behavior and utilization of these organizations shows no more regular patterns than those to be found in the examination of the role of police departments. The effectiveness of these troops have been determined by the attitudes of the troops themselves and their leaders, by the character of the relationships between the military and civilian leadership, and by patterns of utilization by civil authorities. In the East St. Louis riots, 1917. Is that the Missouri riots? St. Louis, Missouri? Oh, yeah, this was the Missouri flood that I'm thinking about. You know, that was in 1917 and 1912, the Missouri floods, when white troops made black men lay down in the flood and be sandbags so they could stop the water from destroying the crops and land and homes and stuff. By gunpoint. Of course, by gunpoint. They wouldn't just lay down because they told them to. They had them by gunpoint. Yep, and made them do it. And then the black men that were killed and drowned and, you know, or beaten or whatever, that died, they actually cut them open and filled them with sand and used them as sandbags. So, yeah, you know, we better keep our eyes on the prize. You better be very, you know, cautious. Yeah. All of us better be very cautious. You know, whatever you feeling and stuff, you know, don't doubt it. Do not doubt it. And take your ass nowhere with nobody. Yep, well, let's read. In the East St. Louis riots, 1917, troops allowed their weapons to be taken away from them to be used in firing on Negro victims of the mob. In the East St. Louis riots, troops allowed their weapons to be taken away from them to be used in firing on the Negro victims of the mob. The leadership of these troops was branded as ineffective by both white and Negro leaders, and a full-scale investigation of their participation resulted in a sharp indictment of the officer commanding them. On the other hand, the action of troops in Omaha 1919 and Chicago 1818 and Detroit 1943 under more effective leadership and with clear chains of command and communications with civilian authorities met with the approval of the most diverse elements within those communities. In the case of both police and military participation in riot and anti-riot activities, it may be that partisan activity by troops or by police is unexpected and hence more attention-catching than similar activities of individuals in other categories. Such a qualification is less clearly applicable to the activities of municipal and state civilian authorities. Opinion has been divided on the activities of agencies of the civil arm of government, but in most cases, heavy criticism has been leveled against these bodies and charges made both of ineffectiveness and of partisanship. Only in the Harlem disturbance of 1943 has a municipal administration been given a clean bill for its riot activities. Yep. And it says VIZ, by action agencies. Only in the Harlem disturbance in 1943 has a municipal administration been given a clean bill for its riot activities. Maybe we should see what the update is on that right there. Why the rest of them, none of them should get a clean bill. Ain't none of them paid for the debt. Have any of the others that got a clean bill? Is that like a write-off? Well, let's read. In a situation characterized by the breakdown of formal social controls and widespread disruption of communication patterns, rioters and looters are not the only persons engaged in collective behavior. The individuals and groups who take over the functions of policing and protection and engage themselves in the task of reestablishing patterns of communication and social control are also participating in collective behavior. That's why I said, if Martin had got the chance, would he have told us, instead of judging white America, because that's who we talking about, instead of judging white America by their character, judge they ass by their culture, because they all seem to be thinking the same thing at some time or another. It might take them a while to sway over, but eventually they sway over, and they all. It makes me wonder. It just makes me wonder. Yeah, Black America, we got to wake up, honey. Sure do. Let's read. Novel behavior patterns appear as official and unofficial leadership attempts to reconstruct organization out of disorganization, and a new social structure with new norms, however temporary it may be, emerges. Sound familiar, don't it? The individuals and groups who take over the functions of policing and protection and engage themselves in the task of reestablishing patterns of communication and social control are also participating in collective behavior. Novel behavior patterns appear as official and unofficial leadership attempts to reconstruct organization out of disorganization, and a new social structure with new norms, however temporary it may be, emerges. Like martial law, for however long it lasts. I'm just asking. I don't know. I'm just asking. So this paper is devoted to a discussion of a variety of anti-riot activities by external forces of control, police, viz, whatever viz is. I don't see it down here nowhere, so I can know what it's referring to. but it says viz. Police and military and other municipal government authorities. This paper is Mark Twain, writing about lynching in the United States, expressed the belief that few people really want to participate in lynchings, and that lynchings would not occur if a few martial personalities could be found who could face mobs without flinching. Like John Brown. Let me read that again. Maybe I read that wrong because I am sleeping myself. We might not finish this whole chapter right here tonight. Mark Twain, writing about lynching in the United States, expressed the belief that few people really want to participate in lynching. All of them people, they all just there. They all just came. 10, 20, 50,000, 100,000 at one lynching. They just came just to be doing something. You see how they cover each other's backs? And now we done put ourselves right back. So it's saying that the lynchings would not occur if a few martial personalities could be found who could face mobs without flinching. And that's Mark Twain, 1946. Major emphasis is placed on the role of external forces of control throughout this paper. It has been claimed that the presence of strong police forces could prevent race rioting. As if the police really want to prevent race rioting. Unfortunately, few cases of prevented riots come to the attention of students of interracial violence. There is agreement, however, that in almost every major riot, local police forces have been ineffective and inefficient. In this section, documentation of claims of police ineffectiveness and partisanship will be briefly examined. The indictment of police forces and their activities, which resulted from post-riot investigations on the East St. Louis riots undertaken by a special committee of the United States House of Representatives, 1918, is typical. And it reads, in part, when the lawlessness began to assume serious proportions on July the 2nd, the police instantly could have quelled and dispersed the crowds, then made up of small groups, but they either fled into the safety of a cowardly seclusion or listlessly watched the depredations of the mob, passively and in many instances actively sharing its work. The testimony of other witnesses who was free to tell the truth agreed in condemnation of the police for failure to even halfway do their duty. They fled the scene where murder and arson held full sway. They deserted the station house and could not be found nowhere when calls for help came from every quarter of the city. The organization broke down completely, and so great was the indifference of the few policemen who remained on duty that the conclusion is inevitable that they shared the lust of the mob for Negro blood and encouraged the rioters by their conduct, which was sympathetic when it was not cowardly. Some specific instances will be given in proof of the above conclusions. After a number of rioters had been taken to the jail by the soldiers under Colonel Clayton, the police deliberately turned hundreds of them loose without bond, failing to secure their names or to make any effort to identify them. In one instance, the mob jammed policemen against a building and held them while other members of the gang were assaulting unoffending Negroes. The police made no effort to free themselves and seemed to regard the performance as highly humorous. The police shot into a crowd of Negroes who were huddled together, making no resistance. It was a particularly coward exhibition of savagery. In that special committee report, East St. Louis Riot, 1918, page 8. Extensive excerpts from this report are included in this volume. Page 000-000-ADG. Many other cases of police complicity in the riots could be cited. Oh, let me back up. After citing a number of specific cases of police ineffectiveness and complicity with the riots, the House Committee concluded many other cases of police complicity in the riots could be cited. Instead of being guardians of the peace, they became a part of the mob by countenancing the assaulting and shooting down of defenseless Negroes and adding to the terrifying scenes of rapine and slaughter. Rapine, R-A-P-I-N-E. The terrifying scene. They were adding to the terrifying scenes of rapine and slaughter. In other words, they were raping and beating too, which they already said they joined in with them. It's in the books right here. It's in the books. Black America been such a dummy. We've been such a dummy. The Chicago Commission on Race Relations, in its moderate and reasoned examination of the activities of the Chicago police during the Chicago rioting of 1919, first noted that the police labored under two major handicaps. These was the hostility of the Negro population to the police and a lack of sufficient numbers adequately to cope with the situation. Chicago Commission on Race Relations, 1922. Some recent writers have given a more critical evaluation of the commission's report. See Wasco, 1966, WASKOW. As in the case of the East St. Louis riots, the commission was able to give a number of specific cases of police law violations and of differential treatment of Negroes during the rioting. The conclusions which they drew of police ineffectiveness and harsher treatment of Negroes were in agreement with those of the grand jury and the coroner's jury, as well as of Herman M. Adler, A-D-L-E-R, state criminologist of Illinois, who testified that the police showed more readiness to arrest Negroes than whites because the officers thought they were taking fewer chances if they were soaked. If they soaked a colored man. Soaked a colored man. Who testified that the police showed more readiness to arrest Negroes than whites because the officers thought they were taking fewer chances if they soaked a colored man. During the Chicago riot, the police forces operating under the command of Chief of Police Garrity were concentrated in the Black Belt, thereby leaving other sectors of the city practically without protection. Negro casualties were highest, not in the area where police were concentrated, but in the almost unprotected Stockyards District. Grimshaw, 1960, page 109 through 119. Garrity ordered the establishment of a barred zone across which neither whites nor Negroes were permitted to go, and he closed saloons and cabarets. A general policy was adopted of search and seizure of persons suspected of carrying weapons on the street and of houses from which firing came. That's Chicago Commission, 1922, page 37. While no police records existed of flying squadrons of police, some such bodies seem to have been operating. Yet, in spite of these actions taken by police command personnel, the riot continued over an extensive period and with great numbers of casualties to both racial groups, ceasing only with the introduction of state militia into the situation. It seems likely that in many cases the intent of higher echelon, E-C-H-E-L-O-N. It seems likely that in many cases the intent of higher echelon police command was either wrongly interpreted or ignored by individual officers. Ignored. The commission noted several cases of individual brutality and neglect on the part of police officers. One such case was reported with which a policeman approached a Negro victim of mob attack with the words, "Where's your gun, you black son of a bitch? You damn niggers are raising hell." He then struck the wounded Negro and allegedly robbed him after he became unconscious. Another Negro was rescued from a mob by being ordered by a white officer to leave a streetcar in the words, "Come out of there, you big rusty brute, you. I ought to shoot you." He was then struck on the head and forced into a patrol car and held incommunicado from July the 28th to August the 4th. None of the white rioters involved was arrested. As in the East St. Louis riots, policemen were accused of leaving the scene of rioting on questionable grounds. Considerable indifference on the part of a police captain to lawlessness during the riot and to the post-riot investigation was shown in the following excerpt from the inquest of the coroner's jury. The officer involved had been in command of 12 mounted and between 63 and 100 foot patrolmen during a clash between the police and a Negro mob. The commission observed that the officer left before the firing began, but the building he had been in was struck by bullets. Question: what time did the shooting take place at the building known as the Angelus Building? What time did that occur? Were there any shooting at that building? And the answer: not that I heard. Question: had there been any shooting there that evening before you left? Answer: not to my knowledge. Question: when the shooting done, when was the shooting done? And where were you? Answer: what do you mean by shooting? And that's the Chicago Commission, 1922, page 40 to 41. Words slightly altered for the purposes of condensation. And that was it. And then it says, let's read. The captain had been in command of the police who had killed 2 men and inflicted wounds on others before the Negroes had run in order to escape the police advance. The activities of the Chicago Police Department came in for sharp criticism by Walter White, then the executive secretary of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. In an article in Crisis, the official organ of that organization, he wrote, and this was White in 1919, page 295. He wrote, during the riot, the conduct of the police force as a whole was equally open to criticism. State's Attorney Hoyne openly charged the police with arresting colored rioters and with an unwillingness to arrest white rioters. Those who were arrested were at once released. In one case, a colored man who was fair enough to appear to be white was arrested for carrying concealed weapons, together with 5 white men and a number of colored men. All were taken to the police station. The light colored men and the 5 whites being put in one cell together and the other colored men in another one. In a few minutes, the light colored men and the 5 whites were released and their ammunition given back to them with the remark, "You'll probably need this before the night is over," so they can go back out and do it again. Because, see, they thought he was white and he let them think that. That's why a lot of light-skinned people, they passed when they could. It should be noted that one dissenting opinion on the activities of the Chicago police can be found in an article published in The Survey. Graham Taylor asserted, "Great credit is given the police by Negro citizens, with very few exceptions, for standing up to their duty, especially when and where contending with the very insufficient force against overwhelming odds in the midst of mobs of infuriated blacks and whites numbering as many as 3,000 people. This is the more credible This is the more credible since many of them are Irishmen and had no contend with the more aggressive element from an Irish district bordering the Negro Quarter. Ooh, that sound like the draft that was in New York. It would be recalled that the greatest number of Negro casualties occurred in just that Irish district inhabited by the most aggressive element, and that's Taylor, 1919, pages 695 to 697. In an investigation report published in the Outlook within a few weeks after the Washington, D.C. riots of 1919, the observation was made. Anonymous, page 533, and that was in 1919. And this is what it says. Failure of the police to check the rioters promptly, and in certain cases an attitude on their part of seemingly indifference, filled the mob with contempt of authority, and it set the stage for the demonstration of the following night. In behalf of the police, though, it may be said that their number, about 840 of the population, estimated by the census authorities a year ago at 401,000, has long been complained of as wholly inadequate. Fully a third of the force, moreover, are new men, chiefly discharged soldiers, and unfamiliar with their new duties. In the early hours of Monday morning, the attacks on Negroes were carried into sections where the Black population is heavy. The whole Negro element of Washington became suddenly aware of a war on their race, which spared no man of color and stopped not to determine whether or not he belonged to the large class of industrious and orderly Negroes in the city. They just didn't even care. Always more or less suspicious of the white police and believing that a Negro on arrest is treated more harshly than a white man, by Monday night, the colored population held themselves to be without police protection. The mob elements among the blacks then armed for war, while many of the better element of their race armed in obedience to the first law of nature. And that's what? Self-preservation. Herbert Seligman, writing in the New Republic, spoke even more critically of the Washington police. And that's Seligman, 1919, page 49. It is hardly necessary to characterize the protection afforded Negroes by the Washington police. There need have been no widespread disorders after the first Saturday and Sunday rioting, but on those first nights, the police gave the impression both to Negroes and white men that they would be the allies of white men. Although the aggressors were white mobbists led by white men in uniforms of the United States, 10 Negroes were arrested for every white man arrested. Similar criticisms have been leveled against police forces in almost every major riot. And one of the sharpest attacks on the police, Thurgood Marshall, formerly chief legal counsel for the NAACP, wrote in The Crisis, that's Marshall, 1943, page 232, reprinted in this volume right here, on pages 140 to 143. When disorder starts, it is either stopped quickly or permitted to spread into serious proportions, depending upon the actions of the local police. Much of the blood spilled in the Detroit riot is on the hands of the Detroit Police Department. In the past, the Detroit police have been guilty of both inefficiency and an attitude of prejudice against Negroes. Of course, there are several individual exceptions. In the June riot of this year, the police ran true to form. The trouble reached riot proportions because the police once again enforced the law with an unequal hand. They used persuasion rather than firm action with white rioters, while against Negroes, they used the ultimate in force: nightsticks, revolvers, riot guns, submarine guns, and deer guns. And they didn't even have nothing. They did not even have nothing. White folks had the guns. the machetes, the knives, the sticks, the clubs. The NAACP claimed to have collected a large number of affidavits from Negroes concerning police brutality during the riot. And it says C. T. Marshall, 1943, and White and Marshall, 1943. In addition, it was claimed that rather than protecting stores and preventing looting, the police drove through the troubled areas, occasionally stopping their vehicles, jumping out, and shooting whoever might be in a store. Police would then tell Negro bystanders to run and not look back. On several occasions, persons running were shot in the back. According to Marshall, the police treated all Negroes on Hastings Street as looters. Another claim made by Marshall was that Negroes driving automobiles were forced to detour into Woodard Avenue, a thoroughfare where violence against Negroes was particularly intense. Marshall felt that police action at any one of the number of junctions could have prevented the spread of violence, but that the police policy of inaction, in accord with Major Jeffrey's refusal to make decisions, allowed violence to get out of hand. He concluded the responsibility rests with the Detroit police. Even in those situations where individual policemen have acted in violation of the law or have failed to fulfill their duty in protecting the Negro populace, actions of police officials usually have been directed toward some control of violence. The major tactical goal of police officials, once riots began, seems to have been sealing off of access between the two racial groups. This has been undertaken in two ways. The first and most frequent has been the establishment of barred zones or deadlines. Cordons of police have been thrown along so-called dividing lines, such as Wentworth Avenue in Chicago, or around the entire Negro community, as in Detroit in 1943, and in Harlem in the same year. The other attempt to prevent contact between the conflicting racial groups has focused on the isolation and preventative detention of the Negro population. Why it seems like they always want to keep Black America hid and in the back, when white America is the one going to them. They should have been holding white America's ass back, letting them calm down, spraying their ass with water hose. In Tulsa in 1921, all Negroes, either refugees from the burning Negro section or captured combatants, were gathered and placed in detention camps, first in the city's convention hall, and later, when that edifice overflowed, in the city baseball park. Large numbers of Negroes were given temporary protection in public buildings in East St. Louis at the time of the major outbreaks in that city. A second major tactical policy has been the establishment of temporary curfews and the barring of sales of alcoholic beverages. Sometimes, as in the Chicago riot of 1919, this curfew has been established by the local authorities. At other times, though, curfews and the prohibition of the sale of intoxicating beverages have been instituted by troop commanders who have come in and established virtual martial law. It is difficult to tell how successful such edicts, EDICTS, such edicts had been in stopping or curtailing social violence. It is hardly necessary to tell proprietors whose places of businesses are being threatened to close their shops. On the other hand, those who have participated in social violence, and particularly that which is manifested in looting and in the variety of forms of poverty assault noted above, seem to have been little influenced by such regulation. While it is possible that whiskey carriage may be important in building up a situation which culminates in the first outbreaks of major racial violence, it seems unlikely that that much alcohol is needed to sustain the rioting once it has begun. Three facts characterize every outbreak in which there have been major interracial clashes. The Harlem riots were not major interracial clashes. In every case, the police have claimed to be understaffed. This claim has been concurred in by observers of the East St. Louis, Chicago, Washington, Tulsa, and Detroit riots. An added claim made by Negroes has been that of underrepresentation of their race on these police forces. Almost all of the major riots in this century have occurred either in wartime or during periods in which wartime has taken place, and the police forces, therefore, have been depleted. Whether or not any qualitative depiction in that police forces has accompanied this depletion during these periods would be difficult to establish. The fact is clear, however, the allegations of illegal police practices and partisanship toward white rioters and differential and discriminatory treatment of Negro rioters and of Negro non-rioters seem fairly well substantiated. Ooh, that was a lot. The fact is clear, however, that allegations of illegal police practices and of partisanship toward white rioters and differential and discriminatory treatment of Negro rioters and of Negro non-rioters seem fairly well substantiated. Post-riot investigations in the East St. Louis, Chicago, Tulsa, and Cicero disturbances established the fact that not only were police discriminatory in their treatment of Negroes, but that at least a few policemen in the forces of these communities had been engaged in a variety of forms of illegal behavior, ranging from participation in the sale of stolen cars in Tulsa to widespread protection of gambling and organized vice in Chicago and East St. Louis. Finally, an examination of materials on the major racial outbreaks of this century shows that the police department of the communities involved have had no plans for the suppression of civil racial violence, and that in times of race rioting, police officials have used only two tactics consistently, with, it may be added, little notable success. But they kept using them too over and over again, though. These tactics have been the attempts to separate the warring factions by isolation of the Negro community and the establishment of curfews and prohibition of the sale of alcoholic beverages. Police mobilization have been inefficient and the disposal of police forces have been ineffective. While there has been widespread criticism of the actions or inactions of local police forces during race riots, troops have generally been praised for their decorum and for their impartial enforcement of the law. With the exception of the East St. Louis riots, where the troops were alleged to have been cowardly and themselves to have participated in anti-Negro violence. Reports on that behavior of troops by both Negro and other observers have been positive evaluations. The major complaint about the use of troops has been that municipal authorities have waited too long before calling on troops for help, or that troops were available only after considerable delay. In the Chicago riot of 1919, strong representations were made to the chief of police that he request aid from the militia because of the insufficiency of the police forces. The course of events is summarized by the Chicago Commission on Race Relations in the following passage. And it says, Chief Garrity steadily refused to ask for troops in spite of his repeated statement that the police force was insufficient. He gave as his reason the disbelief. He gave as his reason the belief that inexperienced militiamen would add to the deaths and disorders. Major Thompson supported the chief's refusal until outside pressure compelled him to ask the governor for aid. On the other hand, the chief deputy of police was quoted by State's Attorney Hoyne as having said at the outbreak of the riot that the police would not be able to handle the situation and that troops were needed. In this, he was supported by Mr. Hoyne. From observation of conditions on the first 3 days of the riot, the chief of staff of the troops concluded that the police were insufficient in numbers and that no improvement was apparent in the general situation, and that therefore the troops were necessary. He saw no reason, however, for putting the city under martial law. Other military men were of the same opinion. When the governor was finally asked for troops, he responded promptly. Of the troops, the commission said, the troops themselves were clearly of high caliber. The militia discipline was of the best. Not a single case of breach of discipline was reported to the regimental commanders. The militia had been given special drills in the suppression of riots and insurrections for a year and a half previous to this occasion. Distribution of troops was determined not by the militia command, but by the police, because the city was not under martial law, the civil authority being inefficient, not broken. The orders under which the militia operated did not have the authority of martial law. The purpose of the orders was to effect a thorough cooperation with the police force and not to take over any duties other than the preservation of law and order. Persons arrested by the militia were turned over to the police. Responsibility for the preservation of law and order rested on the regimental commanders. Careful instructions were given troops for preventing violence. They were to act as soldiers in a gentlemanly manner. They were furnished with arms to enable them to perform their duties. They were to use the arms only when necessary. They were to use bayonet and butt in preference to firing. But if the situation demanded shooting, they were not to hesitate to deliver an effective fire. Above all, the formation of mobs was to be prevented at all costs. Pages 40 to 42. Oh, yeah, so I said we weren't going to finish this chapter tonight, but we're going to read a little bit more. And I suppose we'll stop on the next page, maybe. These are some long chapters here. Yeah. Can you imagine any of this happening again? Are we reading what's finna happen? Oh, my ancestors. Are we reading what's literally going to happen again? Yeah, family, we got to prepare. We must get ready. Whatever happens, however long it takes, it's just me and you. It's just us. That's it and that's all. Other people that's there with you, hopefully they being true and faithful to themselves and to you. You know, we all in this really deep. You know, we got to know whose side we on. Don't be swayed, to the other side and stuff. Don't be no fool and a dummy again. And yeah, if you do got some, some John Brown like minds around you, then that could be a good thing. That could be a good thing. But y'all gonna have to decide whose side y'all on, whose lineage is finna live. Yeah. All right, where are we here? There was a marked contrast between the militia and the police. The troops were under definite orders. Commanders had absolute control of their forces and knew at all times where and how many effectives were available. Precision and promptness of movement was the rule. Reserves was always at hand. Discipline was always good. Only one person, a white man, was killed by the troops. whatever other restraining causes contributed, it is certain that the riot was not revived after the troops was posted. Page 42. The findings of the Chicago Commission on Race Relations on the activities of militia during the Chicago race riot, are in sharp contrast to those of the United States House of Representatives Special Committee on the East St. Louis disturbances. Were it not for the tragic consequences which resulted from the ineffectiveness of troops in that disturbance, the committee report, particularly its comments on the officer commanding, would make amusing reading. The committee describes the preparations by Colonel Tripp, Coloneltripp, after his receipt of orders to take charge in East St. Louis and subsequent to the request of Mayor Moldman for assistance. In the following paragraph, Special Committee Report, East St. Louis Riots, 1918, pages 20 to 21. When the Adjutant General's office summoned Colonel Tripp in the early hours of the morning, he answered the call to duty, arrayed in a seersucker suit and a dainty straw hat, after having, as he informed your committee, hastily packed his handbag with a lot of toilet items. Thus ready for any emergency, he took the first train for St. Louis. He brought no uniform with him, and although it was his duty to face and quell a righteous mob, at no time was he garbed as a soldier. Oh, just a regular old smojo. So, in my opinion, it was his idea to just approach them in a non-threatening, non-authoritative way. Because if he had on his suit, if he had on his uniform, then, they would be like, oh, wait a minute, hold up. But him just showing up as a regular old man, yeah, he did that on purpose. That's what he wanted to do. After repeating Colonel Tripp's description of his own acts of heroism, on which they comment, your committee was unable to find any evidence to confirm this valiant deed of the redoubtable colonel, where he practically mastered hundreds of infuriated riders. But as he states it to be a fact, it must be true. They conclude with the evaluation of his leadership. It is the unanimous opinion of every witness who saw Colonel Tripp on that fateful day that he was a hindrance instead of a help to the troops, that he was ignorant of his duties, blind to his responsibilities, and deaf to every intelligent appeal that was made to him. And that's pages 20 to 21. They continue by remarking that the state itself and its various official bodies must share the responsibility. After commenting favorably on Colonel C.B. Clayton, the officer next in command to Tripp, they continue with details on the conduct of the troops themselves. The conduct of the soldiers who were sent to East St. Louis to protect life and property, puts a blot on that part of the Illinois militia that served under Colonel Tripp. They were scattered over the city, many of them being without officers to direct or control them. In only a few cases did they do their duty. They seemed moved by the same spirit of indifference or cowardice that marked the conduct of the police force. As a rule, they fraternized with the mob, joked with them, and made no serious effort to restrain them. They were friends. Following are a few of the many instances testified to by responsible witnesses. Now, here we go. A Negro, unarmed, making no resistance, and trying to escape the fury of the mob, was knocked down and cruelly kicked and beaten. His condition was so pitiful that a soldier said to the riders, "Boys, He has suffered enough. Let him alone. For answer, one of the mob drew his pistol and shot the Negro 5 times. One bullet plowing through his brain. The soldier then put his gun on his shoulder and calmly walked away, making no arrest. A number of soldiers openly stated that they didn't like niggers and would not disturb a white man for killing them. 3 soldiers and 2 policemen were ordered to close a Negro saloon. On their approach, 2 Negro men ran away, and the soldiers and policemen shot and killed both of them. Although neither of them had committed any offense, they was just scared, running for their life. Paul Y. Anderson, reporter for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, testified that he heard a soldier tell a white man who was loading a revolver to kill all the Negroes he could, that he didn't like them either. A member of the 6th Illinois Infantry boasted that he had fired his gun 17 times during the riot, and every time at a black target. It was a common expression among the soldiers. Have you got your nigger yet? And this page is 21-22. The committee report continues with other cases of alleged law violations by the militia. It further concludes that the governor of the state of Illinois and the military officials of the state had been lax in their responsibility for investigating the activities of the militia. The most complete takeover by military authorities in the event of interracial violence occurred in Omaha, Nebraska in 1919. Secretary of the Army General Leonard Wood to proceed to Omaha and establish order. Specific orders issued to Wood by Chief of Staff March commanded him to go to Omaha and restore and maintain order regardless of the cost. A New York Times report included the following description, and this was October the 1st, 1919. With the advent of General Wood and his staff, the city took on the aspect of an armed camp. Machine guns were posted before the city hall, the rec courthouse, and at other several points. Soldiers were bivouacked, bivouacked. Soldiers were bivouacked in the rotundas of many large buildings. Guards patrolled the downtown streets as well as the Negro section. A gathering of more than 2 people is challenged by the first guard with passes. Army trucks are at strategic points, ready to rush reinforcement wherever they are needed. Artillery, hand grenades, and other fighting materials are banked around the city hall. An observation balloon keeps watch over the city. Then the other day I was talking about the blimp because I couldn't remember what to call the big balloon in the sky. You know, they had it on the movie Jaws when it was flying and they had the little streamers coming out behind it and stuff, the blimp. I couldn't think of what to call it, but that showed what I was thinking about. And right here it's talking about an observation balloon keeps watch over the city. An official statement by Wood made clear his position on further disturbances. I would suggest that all meetings and large public gatherings be prohibited, said the general. If this is not done, the 4,000 federal troops now on guard here would be ordered to take drastic action to put down and prevent any repetition of the disorders. If this should occur, it is altogether probable that many deaths might occur before the disturbances could be quieted. There's no case other than that of Omaha where the military took over the complete administration and control of an American municipality. The police command was turned over to the Army. News was censored by General Wood when he prevented the local newspapers from preventing a story. which he felt was both questionable and inflammatory, of a second alleged rape, and that the Army itself arrested violators and rioters and was apparently prepared to assist in their prosecution. The 1943 Detroit race riot was another, which saw participation of federal troops. Debate on the participation of these troops focused not on their behavior and decorum, but on the series of events which culminated in their final arrival on the scene. Municipal and state authorities claimed that the accessibility of these troops had been misrepresented to them, or at the very least, that they had not been correctly informed about the procedures necessary to obtain federal aid in the suppression of civil disturbance. Commissioner Witherspoon and Mayor Jeffries both claimed that the troops were not forthcoming as they had been promised, and that the disorders were already under control by the time troops appeared on the streets of Detroit. Other non-official versions claim that these two men, along with Governor Kelly, were remiss in their failure to heed the request of various groups within the city for troop protection. And that's Lee and Humphrey, 1943, and reports of various action agencies such as the Urban League and National Action and the NAACP. These non-official sources also claim that the disturbances ceased only when troops appeared and when an alleged shoot-to-kill order by the officer commanding received wide publicity. As in the Chicago riot, once the troops appeared, no complaints were raised about their performance. They appeared in strength, and there were indications that their behavior was to be completely impartial, and that in conjunction with the civil authorities, they would brook no violations of the law. Over 6,000 troops armed with rifles and machine guns were temporarily in the city. They were equipped with weapons carriers, and with armored cars. The troops were maintained in the city for approximately 2 weeks, being utilized to protect Negroes during the graduation ceremonies of a Detroit high school, and later to guard places of public recreation. There were no major outbreaks after the arrival of the troops, although the situation remained close. It remained tense. At no time was martial law declared. The municipal authorities were in command at all times. Lambert, drawing on his observation of communal violence and rioting in India, particularly as manifested at the time during the external controls were breaking down, suggested the following propositions concerning the relationships between actions of external agencies of control exemplified in force and the appearance or non-appearance of violence. Wow. Okay, number one, a highly visible display of overwhelming force at command of government decreases likelihood of violence. Let me read that again. A highly visible display of overwhelming force at command of government decreases likelihood of violence. Number two, in absence of such power, patterns of social control rather than objective strength of force is the important factor. And this is 2A. The longer the time required to visibly dominate the situation, the greater the likelihood of violence going to be. B, the greater the susceptibility of civil government to public criticism, the greater the likelihood of violence. C, the greater the degree of violence and process of suppression, harsher aggression, the greater the degree of violence and process of suppression, the less the likelihood of violence. The greater the uniformity of application of control, the less the likelihood of violence. The greater the comprehensiveness and harshness of punishment after disturbances, the less the probability of future violence. The more frequently a pattern of or agency of government control is used, the less effective becomes its deterrent value. That was 3. All the others were 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, 2E. And that one there was number 3. This is number 4. In the face of increasing numbers of riots, stability can be restored by A, increasing the strength of the forces, B, varying one or more of the elements in the control pattern, and number 5, in the use of forces to control riots, increments in force are more important than the initial engagement of superior forces. There has been no American city which, as to the case in some Indian centers, have experienced series of riots continuing over numbers of years. For this reason, it is difficult to attempt the validation of some of the above propositions, particularly the 3rd and the 4th. However, indirect confirmation of several of these propositions can be essayed by utilizing materials on the riots which have served as database for this paper. It is difficult to determine which of several factors suggested in these propositions have operated in the termination of some of the riots discussed. For example, in the termination of the Detroit riot in 1943, it was claimed by many observers that it was you better stop biting me. For this reason, it is difficult to attempt the validation of some of the above propositions, particularly the 3rd and 4th. However, indirect confirmation of several of these propositions can be essayed by utilizing materials on the riots which have served as a database for this paper. It is difficult to determine which of several factors suggested in these propositions have operated in the termination of some of the riots discussed. For example, in the termination of the Detroit riot of 1943, it was claimed by many observers that it was the appearance of the disciplined and non-biased federal troops under instruction to put down civil violence at all costs, which brought the riot into a close. Here, the emphasis is on the factor of the lack of susceptibility of the troops to criticisms based on presumed partisanship. On the other hand, it could also be a claim that the appearance of weapons carriers, armored cars, and large numbers of armed troops constituted a highly visible display of overwhelming force. Lohman, Lohman, Lohman has suggested that it is the period prior to the outbreak of actual violence that a show of force is important. He writes, this is in Lohan, 1947, page 103. If an unruly crowd has gathered, it should be possible to mobilize adequate numbers of police quickly and without delay. A show of force is preferable to a belated and tragic exercise of force. It is well to recognize that an incident which has passed beyond the control of the police can only with great difficulty be again brought under control. As a cardinal principle, it may be noted that a situation should never be permitted to develop in which control has passed out of the hands of the police authority. He continues by noting the necessity for a plan of reinforcing officers by sending squad cars, or even whole platoons of police to the scene of a conflict. Such a program has been instituted in Chicago and was used, apparently with some success, at the time of the Trumbull Park disturbances. This program calls for the progressive commitment of police forces, see Proposition 5, in such a way that police at the scene of the difficulties can call for plans, in this case by number, and receive prearranged assistance. It seems probable that such exhibitions of force in overwhelming strength have prevented outbreaks on numerous occasions. The efficacy of such displays, however, can only be inferential since it is not known how many riots have been prevented by such action. It can be seen, however, that in those cases where riots have occurred, the social factors included in the other propositions have been operated. Thus, in every case where major interracial rioting has occurred, considerable time has elapsed between the initiating incident and the institution of strong external controls. It will be recalled that in both the Chicago and Detroit disturbances, perhaps the most sanguinary, sanguinary, perhaps the most sanguinary of the century, police and other municipal authorities were reluctant to call for additional forces. In both these cases also, the administration of the police and the civil government generally was distrusted by the Negro communities involved. Similarly, the municipal government of East St. Louis was trusted by neither whites nor Negroes. Further, in the East St. Louis case, it was suspected by the white community that in any application of formal controls, there would be a differential treatment of whites and Negroes, favorable to their own group, though. There's little evidence that either case proves or disapproves the propositions related to the degree of violence in suppression of violence or the comprehensiveness and harshness of punishment. While there have been statements made frequently during the actual course of interracial violence that law violators will be arrested and convicted, in some cases presumably for murder, few post-riot events have taken place which would likely be able to coerce potential rioters. Threats made in Omaha, which had the town people anxious in the days during which Wood was in control, were never followed up by large-scale legal actions against offenders in that disturbance. There's only one major interracial outbreak in this century in which great harshness was used in suppression and in which harsh punishments were administered after the termination of social violence. This was not an urban race violence, but a rural insurrection of Negroes, that of the Elaine Massacre in 1919. This rural rebellion was suppressed with great harshness on the part of the authorities, and many Negroes received stiff sentences when convicted of various crimes in the court trials, which immediately followed the suppression of the disorders. There were no further outbreaks of this nature, but in the absence of information on conditions in other areas and at other times, it is difficult to attribute this lack of further violence to the utilization of harsh control patterns. There is, however, no evidence to suggest that punishments have become sharper over the years since the turn of the century. It is possible that there has been greater uniformity in the application of control. In all the major riots which have been discussed in this paper, Negroes were arrested and convicted with much more greater frequency than white people. More recently, police forces in these major metropolitan areas in the North, which might presumably be the scene of interracial violence, increasingly have arrested whites and Negroes without discrimination in those situations, which might have led to interracial outbursts. These arrests have not, it is true, been followed with a high incidence of convictions and commitments. Nonetheless, the greater uniformity of application of police controls as exhibited, for example, in Chicago, might have acted to prevent large-scale eruptions in northern cities since World War II. The major disturbance in the major disturbance in a northern city since the war in Cicero was marked by a lack of uniformity in the application of external controls, a long lapse of time prior to the introduction of strong forces. Which could dominate the situation. Considerable susceptibility of civil government to public criticism, and a low degree of harshness and aggression in the process of suppression. Other situations which have nearly erupted into large-scale rioting have been characterized by factors which fit into one or another of the propositions. In the St. Louis swimming pool incidents in 1950, for example, considerable time lapsed before the police acted in such a way as to dominate the situation, and there was no highly visible display of force during the beginnings of the disturbance. And that's Grimshaw, 1962, pages 146 to 158. Proposition 5, which deals with the process of commitment of forces, suggests that gradual increments in force are more effective than the initial engagement of superior forces. Once rioting has begun, this proposition seems at least partly antithetical to the first proposition, which emphasized the importance of a display of overwhelming force. In the Trumbull Park disturbances, though police, because of considerable reserve power, were able to bring increasingly large forces to bear, thus creating the impression of a limitless supply of reinforcement. That the ultimate limits of these forces were known, however, can be seen from the editorial maneuvering of the community newspapers, which attempted to bring pressure for the removal of the police by noting deficiencies in police coverage in other areas of the city. The question can be raised whether the initial commitment of a larger portion of over 1,500 policemen eventually concentrated in the Trumbull Park area might not have prevented such violence as did occur. In the Detroit riot, with a limited number of police reserves, almost the entire force was concentrated in the areas of violence soon after the rioting started. It seems doubtful that holding back reserves for later commitment would have been very effective in the control of that disturbance. Both of these propositions, 1 and 5, assume the availability of other extensive forces for the control of eruptions of social violence. In most race riots in this century, such forces simply have not been available. In New York, with a much more sizable police force and with reserves of a large variety, police officials and other municipal authorities have been able either to display overwhelming force in a highly visible manner or to progressively commit increments of force. Both of these techniques have been successful to a certain extent. The display of force decrees the possibility of violence itself. The technique of increments of force is important if rioting has begun. There has been no urban center in this country which, like Bombay or Calcutta, has experienced a series of major eruptions of social violence increasing in number over time. In only one northern city is evidence available which indicates that social violence of greater or lesser intensity is an almost continuous phenomenon. This is Chicago. It has been suggested that Chicago's apparently greater incidence of social racial violence may be a reflection of superior reporting. It is clear, however, that the flexibility of police control practices, as spelled out particularly by Lohan, has acted to prevent any of these disturbances from culminating in full-scale rioting in recent years. In almost every major race riot, which we know are massacres, which have been studied, two major tactical goals have been apparent. These have been suggested above. Oh, y'all, look, we're almost done. Oh, wow. Come on, let's finish it. All right now. Woo-wee. These have been suggested above. The closing of access to intergroup contacts and the use of curfews. It is probable that the era in which flexibility of elements and control patterns would be possible is in the utilization of varying techniques for achieving the first of these goals. Two major these Two major theses have been developed from work on racial social violence in the urban centers of the northern United States. The first has been that racial social violence has resulted in this country from the reactions of the dominant groups, white people, to assaults upon the accommodative structure by the subordinate group, black people. And that's Grimshaw, 1959, A, comma B. Oh, A. And B is the second major thesis has asserted that the background factors of prejudice, discrimination, and social tension are present in all urban centers in the North with relatively or absolutely great Negro populations in a degree sufficient to permit the development of situations characterized by violence proneness. And that's Grimshaw, 1961 and 1962A. The eruption or non-eruption of interracial violence is determined, as it has been claimed, by the character of external forces of constraint and control, especially the police forces. Sufficient evidence is available to validate the assertion that prejudice, discrimination, and social tensions are present in every major urban center with a large Negro population. No such evidence can be adduced, ADDUCED. No such evidence can be adduced to validate the assertion of the primary importance of external control factors. Validation of this assertion will require data on 4 types of situations. Riots occurring in situations of high social tension with strong social controls. Riots not occurring in situations of high social tension with strong social controls. Riots occurring in situations of high social tension with weak social controls. And riots not occurring in situations of high social tensions with weak social controls. The thesis on the importance of external controls, as stated, would predict only situations 2 and 3. If data were available over time for all major northern cities with large Negro populations, the thesis could be adequately tested. With the data available, it is not, however, possible to determine whether there may not be situations of high social tension with weak social controls which have not erupted into major interracial disturbances. Similarly, the lack of outbursts or interracial violence cannot be taken as proof that strong external controls have existed. On this point, there is at least indirect evidence, such as the example of Washington at the time of the swimming pool openings, where strong external controls have prevented the occurrence of major social violence. The data available support the conclusion that in every case where major rioting has occurred, the social structure of the community has been characterized by weak patterns of external control. Final validation or rejection of the thesis of the importance of strong external controls must wait extensive, intensive examination of the police and other agencies of external constraint in those urban centers which have not experienced major outbursts of interracial social violence. And we finished it. Yes, we did. And so tomorrow we will be reading Urban Racial Violence in the United States, Changing Ecological Considerations. Oh, wait, this is a lot, and I'm just wondering how can we use all of this in our times ahead? I don't know. All I know is we better keep our eyes on the prize, honey, and just look out for each other. Make sure each other are okay. And, and as we learn, as we going through this, the next month, the next 12 months, the next, 24 months, and 36 months, and then 48 months. Yeah, we got 4 years. Black America, we got 4 years. And please, let's not keep sacrificing ourselves, okay? Yeah, we can't keep sacrificing ourselves. Oh, and it is 3:30, and I'm going to let y'all go, and I will see you all tomorrow. Sorry, but Roots, the book has references to Black America. I think I loved his second book more. Yeah, the depression is coming. Stock up and share. Many old mama made soup kitchens, mostly keep the elderly safe and make knowledge free. Yep, that's right. Lies, fables, much love to you too, family. Good night, Caldwell. And good night, everyone. And I will see you all tomorrow at lunchtime so we can get us some rejuvenation with our inventors and our creators and our saviors and stuff, you know. Yeah, our scientists, our abolitionists, our troops. We need everybody. We need everybody that has created, our scientists, you know, our poets, our writers. We really need some, you know, we need some reviving and stuff because we're going to be low, quite low, you know, what we finna go through. But yeah, keep your head up and stuff because we won't worry. We will be wary. And don't worry, just be wary. Know what's going on. Peace and power to the people.